check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the back seat. Cars get hot fast and can be deadly, so get it in your head. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
iHeartRadio is live from Paris.
The U.S. men are on fire right now.
Caleb Dressel is going to have 8 Olympic medals, and all of them are going to be gold. The Americans get it done again.
Man, he can't miss. Kevin Durant is lethal.
Hear all the exciting moments on the free iHeartRadio app. Bring the summer games with you. Open the free iHeart app now and enable push notifications for live updates from Paris. iHeartRadio, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
Now, sometimes it don't.
And a welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. We are seen everywhere on YouTube.
We're seen much clearer today,
We
too.
are live and in full HD on the YouTube channel today from Ohio, as we are coming to you from, as now I am dubbing this, the Sportsocracy Lake House here in central Ohio. We are prepared, or trying to prepare, for tonight's start of the NFL season, the preseason.
We'll be there. You'll be, if you're watching the game, at least for that first quarter that we all watch it, then we go, I think I'm good. I think I'm good on the Case Keenum Bowl. If you look behind the stanchion, there's only one side that has fans, and we will be in row 6 back behind that. So if you see two large fat guys, do they serve beer in this stadium?
I'm sure.
If they do, you'll see me with one in my hand.
I'm sure. I wonder if they have a nice Dale's Pale Ale that I can enjoy during the Hall of Fame game tonight. We got the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. Jeremy and I have not made our trek over to the Hall of Fame. We are, as I said, coming to you from the Lake House here in Ohio. We're a little ways away from we couldn't fit it into the schedule, because 12 to 3 here. We're right in the meat of the day. It was only opens at 8. We're about 45 minutes away. Didn't make sense to go in before, so we're going to go after the show today to the Hall of Fame, spend a few hours in the museum, check out all the cool things, and then we will be going to the game as well. We'll have we'll have some fun videos as well. I've been playing with TikToks this morning on the walk here at the Lake House. We are right about 2 blocks away from the shore of a little lake over here, and interestingly enough, not only are we here in the birthplace of the NFL, but we're also in the birthplace of one of the greatest things that ever happened in American history. Dean Martin's career started right down the street right here. There's a little sign down there that says, at 17 years old, he made his stage debut down here at the lake that we're staying at. I just thought it was really cool.
That was such a letdown. I thought you were going to say the first tricycle was ridden down the street or something a lot more fun.
No way, Dean. You're not a Dean Martin? How can you not be a Dean Martin fan?
I don't know, because he was dead before I was born. Does that?
Wow, you are, again, the uncultured swine that is Jeremy Greene.
Oh, I can't wait for you to enjoy the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the first time with me.
He's gonna poo-poo on everything.
That's like the first time you go to a strip club and you have to go with your mom.
Yes, coming to you from just a stone's throw away from Lake Milton in Ohio, heading off to the Hall of Fame game. The trip up here was a lot of fun in the Parks Ford Hendersonville mobile studio. Of course, this is the Living the Dream tour.
I don't think look, I spent quite a bit of time not that far from here. I don't think I've ever gone on a drive where I went that long without seeing more than 4 cars.
It was very lightly traveled, and I mean, part of that is probably because Jeremy kept us off of the main roads because he didn't want to have to pay the tolls.
Well, it wasn't necessarily that. There are a couple places that can bottleneck around those, and so I did take one of my West Virginia shortcuts that might have scared the heber-jeebers out of Tank.
Well, I mean, I am in a very nice, very luxurious F-250 with the 37-inch wheels and the 5-inch lift kit, and when I'm on a 2-lane road going up, so like in Asheville, this is like, I don't know, driving on 63 from Leicester over to Canton, right? You got to go up that windy mountain. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, it is the truck is as wide as the lane.
I did get to meet a Sportsocracy celebrity, though. You didn't even ask how much guy. I'm pretty sure he tried to get us to pick him up as a hitchhiker on the side of that road.
Yes, yes, he did. That's not happening.
I used one of the most patented Jeremy Greene. I'm sorry, I'm deaf. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
It's
but you can see me. I'm blind too.
Yeah,
apologies.
That's one of those scenarios where you just tease and peace. I'm not giving you a ride here. The living the dream.
Hitchhiking on the West Virginia Dragon is. I'm going to give you the opportunity to tell me how many mistakes you made, and by the time you're done, we'll be coming home from this trip. So you just keep talking. Yes. We'll be back for the outro.
The Living the Dream Tour has begun in earnest with our good friends at Ingles Supermarkets, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, and, of course, Dale's Pale Ale. They hooked us up. We've got a bunch of it on tap, or not on tap, but a bunch of it in our future.
And Clarissa sells WNC.
Yes.
Yeah, I might have brokered some stuff. So the cameras that you see us on YouTube, these will be our permanent cameras. I mean, not these specifically, but they're brothers. They may have been sired out of the same factory, because those are the sweetest cameras I have ever seen in my life.
That they are.
We've had all of these things in development for the entire offseason. We just never really actually had the opportunity to sit down, plug it all up, go, hey, this works. We knew every bit of it worked. It was just a question of, did it work together? And so we did have a little bit of angina.
Look, we got it all sorted out like true radio professionals. It's all sorted out. We're live on the air and not a second too soon.
We did have Mark Starling on a Zoom call about, 11 minutes before we went on going, hit the blue button.
As you do. And that is the theme song for our tour. I forget to silence the phone.
Yeah, you got to turn the phone down.
Well, it's the first time I've ever done this thing, this little radio thing here. Welcome, everybody, into the program. Like I said, it was a great trip up here. Traffic was nice. Driving the Parks Ford Hendersonville truck. That's your phone, sir. So, there you go.
We're all
being unprofessional today.
I made fun of you, and then,
anyhow, welcome into the program. It is the open of the NFL preseason tonight. Chicago Bears, Houston Texans. Nobody cares about the game.
I do.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Why do you care about the game?
Well,
Nobody's going to play.
Well, care about the game itself, maybe less than you would want me to. Do I care about the experience of being there? Absolutely.
Of course.
I didn't really get as excited about that until we passed the stadium earlier, and I went, oh.
It's definitely going to be definitely going to be a great event for those of us who are there, and the pageantry and stuff. That is the draw to this. Nobody. The only reason people are tuning in is not for the great football that we're going to see. It's only because we haven't had football in forever, and then we get to see the Hall of Famers.
Yeah, at last call, a 4's a 10, and
right. It's been too long.
Chex Mix is steak tartare.
I mean, really, can you count on one hand the number of minutes of a Hall of Fame game that you've watched recently?
You're not going to like my answer to that.
Oh, because you tune in for the whole damn thing.
I've watched every second of every game, every Hall of Fame game, probably for the better part of the last 10 years.
See, I can't do that.
It was at the very least, it was playing in the background.
Yeah, it has my attention at the moment, and then it's just on to other things. You stick through it to halftime, to see the Hall of Fame class come out. Everybody get their gold jackets. You got to see Julius Peppers out there waving to the crowd at halftime, and then you shut it off. For most of us, But it's just the fact that it's back and that it's here and that it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy when you have the actual real scores will be kept. There will be a final box score tomorrow. And that is just the benchmark of the 2024 NFL season.
And I'm not going to lie, I don't really care about the box score. I watch individual guys. Basically the Bears have already said the starters are not going to play.
Nope.
In any shape, form, or fashion. So it's secret Bajent man. I mean, I'm not jumping up and down about that, but there are guys. There are individual players that you look at and go, well, it won't be terrible. We'll see. Chaz Johnson, our YouTube chat, said that we get to see just exactly how deep the Texans roster is. Let me put it to this way. The third string of the Houston Texans, I'm pretty sure the whole 22 deep of guys that won't make this roster, I'm pretty confident could beat the New England Patriots right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure of that.
That seems a little aggressive. I would say they could definitely be XFL champions. We know that. That third team would win the XFL by 800 touchdowns. It'd be like that, like that college football score I shared with you earlier. Some dude had set his game on 12-minute quarters and was beating South Carolina with Alabama 256-6.
Yeah,
how's that fun?
I don't understand.
I'm just curious.
I don't understand why anybody would do that. Well, because he probably put it on TikTok. That's how you know about it. Set it on 9-minute quarters. Put the clock to run to 13 seconds, and you're good.
Yeah.
And then don't run no huddle because then it'll turn into what you just said.
But I still think that's pretty impressive that he only gave up 6 points in that game.
He's probably playing it on a rookie like you do.
He may be. Hey, look, some of us aren't as skilled as you are.
Yeah, the PlayStation's sitting over there. Our first fireside chat after the Hall of Fame game tonight. Let's go.
Yeah.
And it's going to feature the second half of the Sportsocracy first annual playoff tournament.
Yeah.
Do you have any teams left in that, or are you having to take my teams at this point?
No, we still have the buys. I still have two alive from the buys. All 4 of my first round teams lost.
So I have 6 teams. You have 2, which means I'm going to have to give you 2 of mine.
Yes.
Colorado.
Oh.
You can have
and
that.
Liberty. You're going to give me Colorado to Liberty.
No, Liberty's fun to play with. I actually think I'm going to try to win this whole thing with Liberty, just out of spite.
All right. May look up and win one. You never know.
The fighting Jerry Falwell.
Yeah, Victor Shelton not happy with the UFL haterade apparently coming from me. Look, sorry, it sucks. I can't help you. Any football product that's not college football or the NFL is terrible, and I've never seen a good one. The XFL had my eyeballs back in the early 2000s, with the launch with Vince McMahon.
Well, that's because they had
18 seconds.
Well, that's because they had bazoombas, and you knew at any given – that was like any given Sunday, the professional league. Because you knew somebody might actually die on this field, and I feel like I need to see that.
I was not old enough for the first USFL, and every other venture has been an abject disaster, from arena leagues all the way up to the CFL and the XFL. Sorry, Canadians. I know some of you like the CFL. Never gotten into it. Don't care.
The CFL to me is a lot like watching rugby. I was in a bar the other night, and they had rugby on, and I realized I have absolutely no idea the rules of rugby. I don't know how you score. I don't know what you're doing the vast majority of the time, but I watched it. You know why? Because if I squinted my eyes real hard, it kind of felt like I was watching a Jet game, and that was enough for me.
It kind of looked like real and actual.
Didn't
football.
hurt that I had 7 or 8 Dale's Pale Ales in me by that time. So.
Right. Training camps, all kinds of stuff going on in NFL training camps. We got contract news to get into today as well. We're going to have some more fun discussions about the Hall of Fame, and I may tick off Jeremy here coming up in a minute, but we'll just have to wait and see. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Live in the Dream Tour is officially underway as we are on the road from the Lake House here in Ohio, preparing for the NFL Hall of Fame game and the ceremonies coming up this weekend. All brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Dale's Pale Ale, and, of course, the providers of the Sportsocracy Mobile Studio, Parks Ford, Hendersonville. We will be right back.
When you're ready to go back in the day.
You're clear. Mark,
Yeehaw.
We all do.
Hey, are those headset mics the only mics you've got there?
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay. I'll shut up.
Wait, do you have two regular condenser mics?
I have.
Like two Shure
nothing that I can
highballs?
do in this show, but for moving forward, I've got a. Let's see. I have my condenser for my home studio.
Long story short, those headphone mics are crap, and don't ever use them again.
Okay.
Use condenser mics and headphones.
Well, the problem we run into is that, I mean, I could buy condenser mics, but I'm going to have to Bluetooth them in, which has the same problem.
Why do you have to Bluetooth them in?
Well, because I got to be able to hear somehow. These have headphones and microphone, so.
Right, so all you need is a pair of headphones then to plug into the back of your Rodecaster, because the backhaul comes up through the Rodecaster. So you plug the mic in one channel, or the two mics in two different channels, and then you've got 4 outlets for headphones. So they don't have to be Bluetooth.
Well, on this one we only got 2, but yeah, it's okay.
But that's going to clear up clear up the remaining audio issues that you guys have.
Okay.
Essentially, what happens is that
weird,
those headphones,
because like I said, it doesn't sound like that in our heads.
No, it sounds flawless in our heads.
So what's happening is those headphones and mic sets, they have a built-in noise gate, and so every time someone drops audio or every time someone stops talking, it acts like an on and off switch. And that's basically, those are built in for the headset mics because that's how they're supposed to work, but it just doesn't translate well with the Rodecaster. So it kind of gives you, like, it's basically the mic's being told to stay open at high gain all times.
Oh, so when I stop talking, it turns up my volume, and you can hear.
It's not so much that it turns up your volume; it just doesn't turn your mic down like it's supposed to.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it's just those headset mics. That's all it is. A couple of Shure condenser SM58s or EV RE20s,
right?
And you'll be fine. And 2 sets of headphones.
Right.
10-4. Yeah, that's. I mean, I can fix that for the next one of these.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got mine.
That's probably going to be your best idea.
Yeah. Okay. 10-4.
All right, and we'll be back in 50 seconds.
Thank you.
Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool
5 seconds.
Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Ain't no truth on the radio station. Somebody owes me an explanation. Well, I get knocked down, I get back up.
The Sportsocracy.
You just gotta keep living, man. LIVIN.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, live on the YouTubes as well. That is our very own Ryan Perry. His new song, Unapologetic.
Which is the official theme song of the Living the Dream Tour.
That is right.
I grew up with Ryan. For me, that is one of the coolest parts of this is how we've got little parts of this tour that are very Asheville-centric.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't heard Ryan Perry, I highly advise you do it. He will be at Silverado Saturday, that WNC Country Music Fest. He's the headliner.
Excellent.
Corey Short, who saved the Keister with my poor purchase of cameras and made us look real pretty and made me go, well, I guess that's what I need to do anyway.
Right. Right. We are coming to you live from the Lake House in Ohio, preparing for tonight's Hall of Fame game, Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. We'll be making our trek over toward Canton. We're just outside of Canton, like I said, at the Lake House. It's very, very nice. We'll be posting some pictures of that so you guys can see where we're staying. It was kind of a surprise because when we came in last night, it was, pitch black, dark, couldn't see anything, which is always fun to be driving around in a neighborhood you don't know in the pitch black dark. But when I woke up this morning, I stepped outside and looked down the road, and we're 2 blocks away from a giant body of water. There's a boat dock down there, picnic area. It's a very cool place that we're at. But anyhow.
Everybody needs a friend like me that has traveled just so often. And I know the phrases to look for that means, how do I put this delicately? Meth-riddled keister hole. I know what to look for in that. So this place is great.
Yes, it's very nice. The people are fantastic so far. Everybody in this little neighborhood, I'm out walking on the roadway, everyone has stopped to wave and say hello. Apparently on, Thursday mornings is the time to mow your lawn because I think 8 people were mowing their lawns as I was walking out to the beach a moment ago.
I want to, at some point, I want to either win the lottery or something like that so I can live life like this, for the last, the twilight of my career, or better known as my 40s.
That's for the final years.
Yeah, for the winding down period.
Those big long-term plans. For it. All right, we've got a super chat in the YouTube comments. It comes from Soaring Eagle. He says the Patriots are getting they're
going
they're
full
excited.
12 to midnight.
Yeah,
6
they're
to
very
midnight.
excited about Joe Milton of all people. After some 2 days of training camp, has to be the most hilarious thing this off season. He says.
Well, I do have to tell you this. And look, there are 2 quarterbacks in this past draft class that I would bet my ability to have fun for the rest of my life are not going to become jack squat, in the words of the legendary Matt Foley.
Okay.
Spencer Rattler was 1. Joe Milton was 2. Because I spent a week watching them throw on air, and both of them at certain times made me go, man, what a lively arm. Maybe you can play in the NFL.
Okay.
And then this thing happened. And I don't know if you've been around football and practices and things like that. The defense put their helmets on. And when that happened, I stopped going, look at that, and went, oh, did you see that? That was bad.
Looks really good when you're throwing on air.
If there was a 7-on-7 league where you could play in nothing but shorts and nobody could ever hit you, Joe Milton would be the Tom Brady of that league.
So we're saying that we need to go ahead and get Joe Milton in training for flag football in the Olympics.
If there was a big 3 for football,
yeah,
with washed up former veterans in the league,
yes, which it would be,
Joe Milton would be their god.
Awesome,
because he has one of the biggest arms I've ever seen. Mullet Sr. was in love with Joe Milton until I pointed out what I just pointed out to you, which is have you noticed that every time you say that, the defense is down there stretching, and then they stop, and then you forget he's here?
Yes.
That's not a good sign. That's
right.
not the way we
All
want
right.
this to go.
I mean, this is what we do during training camp. We find any little thing to glom onto as fans. So it's no surprise that if a quarterback is, coming out, showing out in camp, you're gonna try to find that if that's what you're looking for. And I think that's what every New England fan is looking for right now, is some kind of an answer at your quarterback position. There's so many that already believe that Drake May will be a disaster, that he will be a bust, and that we screwed that pick up. So you're glomming onto, well, maybe Joe Milton's the future.
Well, to me, that's the flip side of that coin, and it's so interesting to me that you have that solution, and you're so desperate for something to talk about on August 1st that you're talking about a 6th-round pick instead of the guy you took 3rd. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, I want to shut down, dispel this misnomer. The Bears were dead set on Caleb Williams from the day the season ended.
Okay.
They never believed, like me, that Jaden Daniels was a better prospect. There was less fear there. Mm-hmm. That really never changed. They were all in from the first talk I had till the last. The Washington Commanders at 2 were locked in on Jaden Daniels about 25 minutes later. New England had some about Drake May. There were 2 teams that I know definitively would have given you anything you wanted. Mm-hmm. Anything. So it's not like Drake May was a consolation prize. Drake May would have been the number 1 quarterback in next year's class, and it wouldn't have even been close.
Yes.
Not even in the ballpark. Quinn Ewers, Shedeur Sanders, Carson Beck, none of them. So, I mean, look, I get it. The kid hasn't looked great in shorts practices. He's not 100% ready to start. If you're trying to win games, you're going to play Jacoby Brissett early. And let me see if I can conjure up what apocalyptic scenario would have to happen for Joe Milton to see the field. Jacoby Brissett would have to just DMP old and retire and decide he wanted to come retire here on Lake Milton, which is ironic for how I'm going to end this. Yeah. Drake May would have to chase his lifelong dream of playing the piccolo and just, I'm never playing football again. Every mediocre 2nd or 3rd string quarterback in the NFL would have to get abducted by aliens. And I'm going like, I mean, we'd be calling Tim Tebow before we really locked in on Joe Milton.
Okay. No chance.
I mean, as a Jet fan, I cannot say this enough. Please do that. Fall in love with Joe Milton, somehow let him be the starter, and when the Jets come to New England and he throws 14 interceptions in one game and your box score looks like it came out of a Madden game between Tank and myself, don't be shocked when Jeremy's got the jokes.
Yeah, just on Tuesday's practice, to take an example here, just reading up that his second full day in pads did not go well as he finished 5 of 11 on 11 scrimmages and including a 1 of 6 period to close out the day. And the key part to me of what I just read to you, second day in full pads. In the NFL, I mean, I feel like that matters. And for a guy that we already know and everybody has said, and Gerard Mayo has made it a point to tell everyone, this is not Drake's job. Jacoby's the guy.
For now.
And if he can, right, like, and he said if Drake can come out and light it up in camp, absolutely that changes. He could be QB1, no problems. But he's got a lot more to prove. Second day of practice is to be, throwing the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak, here, without a more proper term to use, is absolutely ridiculous. Drake May's going to be just fine, Patriots fans. Don't try to, like I say, move on too quickly here and jump to, we screwed this up.
You know, I love using relationship metaphors for quarterback relationships in the NFL. So while you were talking, I developed one that is maybe the most apt thing I will have ever said in my life.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
New England was in a long time committed marriage to Tom Brady.
Yes.
That ended. They lost some real estate. They lost a car. Mm-hmm. It wasn't awesome. Had a couple flings over the course of the following years.
None of them went well.
Mac Jones, by the way, did you see him get lit up at Jaguars camp with the training staff lit him up with the dummies?
No.
They already hate him, and I think it's funny. Now you found Drake May, who is a little younger, fun. See a real future there.
Yeah.
We still need that one stripper weekend in Atlantic City.
Oh, my God.
Joe Milton is that stripper weekend in Atlantic City. Like you show up at the chapel and you just, at some point you sober up and go, I shouldn't do this. My kids would not like this. I think they went to high school with her. This is a bad idea.
I love where your brain goes sometimes.
Here's the thing.
It's a really interesting window into your psyche.
My wife asks me on a regular basis, "What is wrong with you?"
Right. What is damaged about you that you're just?
That's what happens.
Strippers and blow. That's your fallback.
Hey, talk about what you know, Tank.
Okay. All right. That's living life in the car business. Every business, executive offices, all of it. Yeah. Okay. I guess it tracks.
Yeah, just throwing it out there.
Hey, look. When in Rome, you do as the Romans do.
I mean, look. The name of our tour here is the Living the Dream Tour. I've been living a dream for 15 years. It's just not a dream that you should put on camera because many 12-people juries would call that evidence of your guilt.
Yeah. Jacoby Brissett is the guy in New England. Drake May's got a way to go. We all know that. No one has lied to you and said that he doesn't. Stop trying to make mountains out of molehills. Stop trying to make Joe Milton out to be something that he's not. There are lots of training camp superstars out there. There are lots of practice guys that are really, really good in practice.
Oh, and there have been a lot of quarterbacks over the years that really duped fans in training camp.
Yes.
Because they came in and look, this is not a shot. This is not me trying to say, I know more than you. I do, but I wasn't trying to say that. The average fan, and look, I watched this at the Senior Bowl. I watched this in a lot of fan events. Fans get locked in on things that just don't really matter all that much. Oh, look, he can throw a ball 70 yards. You know who else can do that? Joe Flacco, who on a Zoom call that I was on not that long ago said, do you know how many of those I've thrown in my entire career? He's been in the league for almost 20 years.
Right.
Do you know how many he's thrown in his entire career? He has the biggest arm in the NFL. It's him, Matthew Stafford, for over a decade. Mm-hmm. He said the entire time I've been in the league, I've maybe done that 5 times. Oh, great. So Joe Milton comes out and uncorks cannonballs. Okay, that's great. Ask him to throw a swing pass. Now throw in a defender, and when the running backs go, I have to poop, it's because they don't want to get decapitated.
Right.
I watched this for long enough between the Senior Bowl and Tennessee. Just stop.
A lot more goes
Lock in on the things that matter. Reading the defense matters. The ability to get your protection set matters. He could throw one 72 yards in the air. So could Jamarcus Russell.
Right.
He could throw 170 yards from his knees. Mm-hmm. So when you get locked in these things, maybe remember what I just said.
Yeah. A lot more to playing quarterback in the NFL than just having a strong arm. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. When we come back, it will be time to get just a bit outside. We are coming to you live from the Lake House in Ohio for the Hall of Fame festivities this week. We'll be heading down to Canton after the show here on the Living the Dream Tour with our good friends at Ingles Markets, Dale's Pale Ale, and Parks Ford Hendersonville. We'll be right back.
This is your Exergen Temporal.
All right, you're clear. And we're hitting outside news after this break?
Yes.
Warmer weather can
cool.
Be a shower thunderstorm coming in this afternoon, widely scattered around. So heads up, you could run into some tropical downpours.
The outside news liner has music with it, right?
Tonight,
Tank just ran off to the bathroom. You'll have to ask him when he comes back. I'm not
time
real
for
sure.
the Friday evening out and the Friday evening.
All right, because with that last one, I played music and then realized it was music.
I think most of his, they're all-encompassing.
This report is sponsored by Gun Owners of America.
Okay.
It's August 17th and 18th. Join us at the Knoxville Convention Center for the Second Amendment Summit by Gun Owners of America. See hundreds of the top vendors of firearms and gear. Plus, hear from inspiring speakers like Dana Lash, OAN's Dan Ball, and Chris Salcedo. Don't miss it.
iHeartRadio Olympics Update.
American swimming star Katie Ledecky setting an Olympic record in the women's 1500 freestyle on her way to her 8th career gold medal. Ledecky will look to add to her medal collection when she competes in the women's 800 freestyle starting tomorrow.
You know, any gold medal it's not easy to win.
Basketball action in Paris today. The U.S. women's team looking to go to 2-0 when they take on Belgium.
For NBC's live coverage from Paris, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
Even if you take excellent care of your teeth and gums at home, you still need to see a dentist regularly. And at Asheville Smiles, they have all the latest and greatest technology, which is so important because they are able to catch issues quicker and diagnose more accurately. Many dental problems, they don't even become visible or cause pain until they are in more advanced.
Does Outside News have music with it?
You need to make sure that you think about your
Hold on,
overall
he's putting
health
his
and make
headphones
that
back
dental
on.
appointment. World-class dental care with
It does have music.
AshevilleSmiles.com.
Every day, a child.
Cool. I didn't realize that with the last one, so
Yes.
had a little bit
I
of
apologize.
music overlap. Sorry about that.
No, you're all good.
And their weight. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
This could be the craziest podcast pairing ever. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, and Super Bowl champ Marshawn Beast Mode Lynch are politicking.
What does politicking even mean? It's bridging gaps with no politics.
Joined by their friend and agent Doug Hendrickson, it's going to be a wild ride.
We can change the world podcast by podcast.
Listen to Politicking with Gavin Newsom, Marshawn Lynch, and Doug Hendrickson on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Politicking and start listening.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828
Back in 20.
6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Boy, you must.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville, the Living the Dream Tour, live on the road from the Lake House in Ohio as we are celebrating this opening of the NFL preseason on Hall of Fame Day. Hall of Fame Game Day, I guess. Hall of Fame Day probably should be reserved for Saturday when that's going to be the actual enshrinement of the 7 that are going into this year's Hall of Fame class.
Well, that reminds me, at the end of this segment, we need to have a serious talk about something.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good.
No, it's not bad. I want to leave it up to our loyal constituency to settle a disagreement that Tank and I have had.
Oh.
That lasted maybe 20 seconds, and he doesn't even know what I'm talking about right now.
I do not have any idea what you're talking about, but we'll get to it in just a second. So, we know that tempers can flare at training camp, right? We've all seen the headlines. Aaron Rodgers got fiery once again with Garrett Wilson or whoever, Joe Tippmann for stepping on his foot or whatever.
I would be a lot happier with Joe Tippmann if he could, snap the ball and Aaron not have to jump.
Yeah.
Because every time I see him jump, my heart does this thing where it stops. Well, it's not good for my future.
Well, his does as well. And then when he gets stepped on by Tippmann as well, like he goes, oh, well, I mean, I got hurt very easily last year. So let's maybe work on the footwork here, learn the timing. Aaron is a perfectionist, so he gets very in his feels in practice. Everybody knows this. There's a story every year about, oh, my God, is there trouble at Packer camp or Jets camp because Aaron's yelling at people. He always did that. Tom Brady always did that. It's not anything out of the ordinary. We have fights in training camp all the time. Pittsburgh Steelers just got into a knockdown dragout the other day. I was very upset when Jeremy told me that it wasn't Russell Wilson versus Justin Fields. Because I figured that's how they should settle that quarterback battle. We should put this to the UFC, and we should have it on pay-per-view, and we should watch Russell Wilson and Justin Fields just beat the snot out of each other.
That would not go the way you want it to go.
Really?
Oh, Justin Fields would
destroy him?
Deliver
Really? Okay.
Every ounce of the smoke.
Really?
Oh, no doubt.
Okay.
Russell Wilson would at some point utter, "Not the face, I bruise like a peach."
He very well may.
Russell Wilson is top 5 pro athletes of all time that I am in no way scared of.
Yep. Things got interesting at the Tennessee Titans practice on Tuesday, though. Jeffrey Simmons was talking with Buck Reising, he's the host of the Buck Reising show. I guess they're in Nashville. And they were going back and forth, or Jeffrey Simmons saw some things that Buck had said about him on social media, and he went hard in the paint. He said, "You sure do a whole lot of talking on social media," and then called him the P word. Normally, you don't have back and forth, confrontations with the media like that, per se.
Jeffrey Simmons is a dog.
But here's the thing. You have to be prepared for that. Right? I'm not going to come out here and I'm going to say, some people probably want me to say, "Oh, Jeffrey Simmons is being unprofessional and you shouldn't do this, blah, 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 blah." As a broadcaster, you have to be willing to take the lumps. If you're going to call out Jeffrey Simmons for laziness, or I don't even know the scenario. I didn't dig into the background on this. I just read the synopsis of the back and forth here. But if you're going to be critical of these NFL players on social media and on your shows, right, I would expect if Baker Mayfield ever watched this show and then he ran into me at something and remembered something that I had said derogatory about him, I'm fully prepared to take whatever criticism is going to come my way.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the reasons that it is so easy for me to just absolutely massacre Baker Mayfield.
Because he never say it to your face.
Oh, are you angry? What pray tell would you like to say to me?
Yes.
There, Bake.
Yes. He will definitely step to me for whatever you said.
Now, Cam Newton, I'm not going to lie, some of the things I said there, big Panthers affiliates, I knew there might come a day that flag football thing happens to me. And I'm prepared to accept that.
Yeah. Yeah. Buck's response to it was basically, this is the game, right? He wasn't even really mad about it. He took the same stance I did. I'm here every day, so if he's got a problem with something I say, I can't tell him not to, because he has every right to do that. People want to focus on whether or not this is a professional move by Jeffrey Simmons. I would say, who cares?
It's 100% fine.
This makes it interesting, and I love the fact that Jeffrey Simmons is not afraid to come back at the media, to create this kind of accountability, because that's really what it is, right? We're all just idiots out here talking, giving our opinion on this guy sucks and that guy sucks and so will never be a Super Bowl winner. I think it adds the fuel to the fire for a lot of athletes. I feel like what we do is a lot of it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that people get to do what we do and make money to live off of it.
I think that
right?
quite often.
To entertain the masses, just talking about something that we love, it's insane.
It also gives me the angina every time you say that, because I'm afraid somebody's going to realize that, and I'm going to have to get a real job.
Mm-hmm.
Because
but you have to.
I am not equipped for that at this point.
Right, but you have your ears open to your detractors, and that adds a little bit of fuel to the fire. I love that I've always liked Jeffrey Simmons as a player, and I love that he's not afraid to point out, to use the term, the haters that are out there.
I will see him in 2 weeks at Titans camp, and I'm excited about it. My story is about a sport that we don't talk about much. Tank, have you ever had a player in a sport that you didn't watch, that you really liked the player even though you never actually watched them play?
Ooh. I can't really say that I have.
I want to call Bull Squirt on that one, because you watch the Olympics.
Yeah.
And you know nothing of these people except for 2 weeks every 4 years.
Sure, yeah.
Mine is Alex Ovechkin.
Okay.
I don't watch hockey. I'll watch it in the playoffs. I enjoy watching it. I just don't really have like an emotional tie to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always thought, if I was going to be friends with professional athletes, hockey players would be pretty high for me. Because I feel like the way that Jeremy lives and the way that hockey players live, it marries in a nice brotherly relationship.
Okay. Lots of drinking, fighting, and that other thing.
Yeah. I nailed it on the head.
Yeah. I mean, if I were going to be getting along with, pro athletes, I was going to say I would fit right in with poker
ballet
players.
dancers.
I was thinking
poker players.
Yeah, poker players.
You die. You can't make it through 3-day trips with me. Yeah, I'm friends with a professional poker player. Anytime you want to play that game, you let me know. You should have an ambulance on standby and your wife's number dialed in your phone because it won't go your way. Anyway, Alex Ovechkin did an interview recently with the Great Eight. Excuse me. He did an interview with the Russian Machine Never Breaks and Great Eight, which is what they call him. Basically, they started talking about drinking beer in the locker room.
Okay.
And his response is the most unabashed, I don't care what you think response I think I've ever heard. He said, I don't hide it. I like the taste of beer. I like light beer. Sometimes I can drink Guinness, but I prefer light beer. I can't imagine a player who says he doesn't drink. He quit. You can take a break for a certain time, but after the game, 2 or 3 cans of beer with pleasure. It's useful. In Washington, we have a refrigerator with beer in the coach's room.
Yes.
It's normal.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to ask you, you covered baseball much closer than –
Yeah.
I know this happens in hockey. I know this happens in baseball.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident it doesn't happen in basketball.
Yeah, it does.
This level?
Do you not remember the video of Luka? Do you think that was just because they won that they had the beer there? Or do you not think that they have beers available to the players after the games every time?
I have phrased this poorly.
Okay.
I mean to this point where there's like dedicated coolers in the coach's room and we're going 8 to 10 Dale's Pails after every game.
I would say if you ever played for Rex Ryan, probably.
Well,
it's probably happened in the NFL.
Well, if you ever played for Rex Ryan, there were some extracurriculars. But beer, you probably needed the beer to deal with the rest of them.
Beer cooler in the basketball locker room? Yeah, I'd probably say not.
That's where I'm at.
I'd probably say
I feel
not.
like it works in hockey, and I feel like it works in baseball. Because neither one of those require you to be – I mean, look, all of these guys compared to us, world-class athletes. I've met enough of these guys. You see way more doughy out of baseball players and out of hockey players than you do in any other sport.
Right.
And now, football, you see some doughy. But look at the arms on that doughy guy.
See, now, if I were a professional athlete, I feel like I probably would. I would probably have my own little mini fridge in my locker. So I don't know that the team would necessarily be involved in that scenario.
I mean, look,
unless they told me, you can't do that.
I don't have to stay in top physical condition, but there's a mini fridge in our studio and my office, so I'm never more than a good 50-foot walk away from an ice-cold Dale's Pale Ale.
The Sportsocracy, the Ocho, says that hockey players used to drink between periods.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. While smoking darts. I get it. I mean, but sports back then used to be so different. I mean, dudes used to do that in the dugout in Major League Baseball, right?
We had
smoking heaters.
We had quarterbacks in the NFL that were having heaters after drives.
Yeah.
Like just sitting on the bench like, here we go.
Yeah. What's that? I think there's a great old clip of I want to say it was like Jim Plunkett or somebody.
Lynn Dawson's the one I know.
Lynn Dawson's a good one, yeah. It's just it's a different time now. And there's also the thing I can't imagine the NBA definitely not doing this in the Georgia locker room. I can tell you that. But in the NBA for the Charlotte Hornets, I'm not giving LaMelo Ball any access to alcohol before he gets out on the roads because that dude can't drive to begin with.
Yeah, we have a TikTok that'll be or a reel that'll be coming out on our social medias for the start of college football about riding with Georgia football players. It's real funny.
It's much worse than riding with me. I can tell you that.
I don't mind. I mean, you do certain things that drive me crazy, but you hug the outside line.
I do, especially when I'm in that big thing.
Which is funny because you should do it the opposite way because you have gigantic mirrors, especially on roads that have like tree branches and things like that. Multiple times yesterday, I went, well, here it goes.
We're going to run into that tree there. Yeah, no, it's one of those things. I try to be as safe as possible on the roadways.
I never felt the urge to take over.
Just don't step in my path. That's the only thing I ask.
Yeah. R.I.P. Groundhog.
Oh, that poor guy. He never had a chance.
Well,
I mean, he did. He did if I had moved the truck, but I did not.
Well, I mean, I don't think either one of us thought he's just going to throw himself right out in front of this car.
I didn't think so. I told my wife afterwards. So we were in, what was that?
Ohio.
We were coming through West Virginia.
No, we were in
Ohio already.
No, because in the course of 8 minutes, we saw Adult Mart, which is to me the most lazily named adult store I think I've ever seen in my life.
Adult Mart was bad.
That's the toy store for adults that wear khakis every day. Shopping for pleasure. That's actually the tagline, and they shingled the roof over the sign.
And then we're going down the road, and a groundhog comes out of the median. And I described it to my wife when I explained it to her. The groundhog did basically the same thing that my cat does when I come into the house. The cat will run into my path, and then he'll immediately flip over on his belly so I could rub his belly. And the groundhog laid down in the middle of the lane. Now, I could have tried to go around him.
But we could have wrecked and killed somebody
exactly.
beside us.
I'm never going to put in jeopardy my health, Jeremy's health, any other human's health, or the $5 billion car that I'm driving outside to swerve out of the way of a groundhog. Like, I tried my best to line him up between the tires, and the back tire wasn't listening.
Nope,
it
was
just
not.
ran right over him, and poor Nutters did not make it. He turned into
not.
Nutter Butter, and it was not good.
At Sports Tech ESPN, you feel free to
apologize.
If you're a PETA enthusiast, you feel free to send your
Look,
messages to him.
I tried. I tried my best. It's a new vehicle. I'm not used to the gate on that thing just yet, and poor guy.
Yeah,
poor guy.
It tried his best is not how I would describe that.
He wanted his tummy tickled, and I went, okay, I got you.
Anyway, that's not what we need to discuss. We have a decision here that we need to make.
Okay, what's the problem?
All right, so across the path of the Living the Dream tour, we're going to all kinds of cool places, and sometimes there will be cool things that happen adjacent to the cool things that we're already doing.
Yes.
We are in the midst of one of those.
Okay.
So we're here until Saturday. All right, we're going to the induction, and then the plan was that we were going to leave from Canton and just hammer it back to Asheville, be back by midnight Saturday night, and then we could spend Sunday at home.
Yep.
One day of rest and refreshment before we're back at it for a full week next
All makes sense. Yes.
Or,
oh God,
there is an event that's taking place 30 minutes from where we're sitting right now, and I feel like we at least need to entertain the idea of going.
Okay. Are you talking about the John Fogerty concert in Cleveland on Saturday night?
I am not.
Oh,
Tank, I'm going to cut you off
on.
on that. In my whole life, I don't even 100% know that I know who John Fogerty is.
The guy from Creedence. Center field, put me in coach. That guy?
Yeah, they have one song that I actually like.
Creedence?
Yeah.
Really?
Now the rest of them they all sound alike to me.
Big library.
The Put a Candle in the Window. I do like that song.
That was Elton John.
No.
It was Candle in the Wind.
I was going to say it's Candle in the Wind. It's not Candle in the Wind. It's not Dust in the Wind. I'll look it up in the break and tell you what song I'm talking about in the next segment.
Okay. All right.
There is an event happening in Cleveland, and I think we at least need to give the constituency the chance to tell us if we should go or not.
Okay.
SummerSlam is at Cleveland Browns Stadium.
No, it's not.
It is. They're having SummerSlam. First of all, I would kill to know how somebody went, hey, let's do SummerSlam in Cleveland in the month where Cleveland is oppressively hot. I think it's 207 degrees outside.
It is very warm.
But SummerSlam is after the Hall of Fame induction on Saturday. Mm-hmm. We could go – now, look, I'm not going to lie to you. We did not budget this into this tour. Mm-mm. So our seats would be
up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to call these the P.J. Walker's family seats of we didn't actually think he was going to get in the game, so we let Mommy and Daddy come. But
oh, sorry.
Yeah. They're not there.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. SummerSlam in Cleveland this weekend. Okay. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Weigh in the YouTube comments. What you think? Should we try to go, extend the trip, and go to SummerSlam?
I'm going to put it in the chat, and I have a solution if that is what they decide.
It is the Sportsocracy. This is the Livin' the Dream Tour, brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Dale's Pale Ale and Parks Ford Hendersonville. You're on ESPN Asheville. We'll be back after the top of the hour.
We're going abroad for the first time in.
Hey, sorry. I totally spaced because I just walked in. I saw the mic light was off, and I thought you were in a break.
Right.
I honest to God thought I was.
Well, no wonder the mic.
I thought I was having a stroke. I thought that was coming off my computer. I thought somebody was talking in an ad.
That's funny.
No. Listen, after hearing this, I'm going to recommend you go to the studio tomorrow.
Okay.
So it's just you're
it's
for whatever it is. It sounds like you're in the back of the room in a closet doing the show. So
well, I know what it is. It's the mics. The only thing is I've only got one condenser mic. Because I didn't plan on that. I mean, I can go buy another mic. That's not really a problem.
Or we could just try to go over to.
Well, the problem is taking all this down.
That's true.
Taking the cameras down is 2 hours each way. So that's going to be a massive headache.
All right. All right. Well, whatever you can work out, it's just it really just is.
So what does it sound like?
Can y'all take audio messages like I do on an iPhone? If I send you an audio message like as a text, can you hear it?
Yeah. Because you got to understand. So we hear so everything I have comes through the road. So I have no idea what this sounds like broadcast wise. By the way, this is a good point.
Yeah. So.
Time to point out that anything
you
say can be
is,
heard on YouTube. So if you're going to say anything like wildly awful, don't do that.
I'm not. So when you come back and start this next segment, I'm going to record it on my phone, holding it up next to the radio in my office, and then I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to text it to you.
Okay.
And you should be able to hear what I'm talking about.
Okay. There's a Best Buy literally right beside the Hall of Fame. So I mean, if I need to slide in there and just buy a mic, that's what I'll do. I can almost promise.
So you have another mic that. So you have another mic that you're not using, and you're saying if I go buy one more mic, then those two should work.
Yes.
Okay.
I guarantee it's these headset mics. But we had this problem at the combine. It wasn't this bad, but that was a room that had so much ambient noise that it would never trigger them. Mark explained to us what the problem was, and I didn't really understand it. But, yeah, I mean, if I need to go buy a mic, I need to go buy a mic. That's fine.
Yeah. All right. Whose Roadcaster is that, by the way?
The one that we're using?
Yeah.
It's Corey's. I'm going to have one just like it because it is unbelievable.
Okay. All right, because I think I'm working on something else with Tuscola, and I think I'm going to have to go to a Roadcaster setup, tapping into a Wi-Fi network to get good studio quality home games out of them. So I might be going that way too with that.
Yeah, if you decide to do that, let me know, and we'll order them as a bundle because you can get two of them for cheaper than you can get two for cheaper per unit than one is by itself. I didn't say that right.
All right.
I think you knew what I meant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I might be able to get it through the company. I don't know, but we'll see. Let me go back here and record you guys, and then I'm going to text it to you.
All right.
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right. We'll be back for the open.
774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Warmer weather continuing over the next 2 days. Maybe a shower thunderstorm coming in this afternoon, widely scattered around. So heads up, you could run into some tropical downpours, gusty winds. No widespread severe. 90 degrees should do. Unless it rains, you're going to cool off a bit. Tonight, threat for showers and thunderstorms early. Overnight low of 70. Likely storms late tomorrow, just in time for the Friday evening out and the Friday evening commute. Up into the low 90s. Heat index 100. Few showers and thunderstorms over the weekend. Upper 80s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
ESPN Asheville is WPEK W225CJ Fairview, WMFX Waynesville, an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. The Sportsocracy. Of Dumbassery, live from the Ingalls studio.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. We're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat. We are on the road, living the dream tour with Ingalls Markets, Dale's Pale Ale, Parks Ford, Hendersonville. We are live at the Lake House in Ohio as we are preparing for the festivities in Canton, Ohio. We are at a place called Lake Milton. It's very lovely.
It's a very beautiful place. This house is fantastic.
Yes.
I would like to find a house like this for every stop we go on.
It would be cool. It would be very cool.
We each have our own bedroom. There's no chance of me ever accidentally seeing entirely more of Tank than I want to.
It's always a positive.
I have the biggest bed I think I've ever seen. I don't know what that is. I have a California King in my house. Mm-hmm. That bed is bigger than mine.
I didn't think they made them bigger.
I laid in it sideways last night. It was, nice. I mean, I'm 6'5". It was beautiful.
Welcome back into the program. If you're just joining us, Hall of Fame game coming up tonight. We'll be checking out the Hall of Fame as well. Before the game, we'll have lots of social media tidbits and reels and things like that coming out on the YouTube channel, so you want to make sure to follow us there. Also on all of the social medias at The Sportsocracy. Apparently SummerSlam's in Cleveland. The chat believes that who was it that said, why is this even a conversation? Ches said, why is this even a conversation? Just buy the tickets. Go to SummerSlam.
Well, here's the thing.
I have to run it by the boss first.
Well, that is one thing, is that we did not budget this.
Exactly.
So we're up against decision time. The other thing is the parking apparently is not a ton of fun. So the logistics would be tough. It could be done.
It would be very cool, though. I mean, the last time I went to a wrestling pay-per-view was...
I've never been to a
pay-per-view. Good Lord, that was a long time ago. Hell, War Games. War Games came to the Asheville Civic Center back in 96-ish, maybe?
All right.
And we went to that one. That's the last one I ever went to.
All right. I'm going to conspire something on this. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but we will – the budgets on this are tight because we have a 9-month tour. So I will –
We'll see what happens. Who knows what can happen over the next couple of days.
You never know. A local Asheville business owner may call me after the show and go, hey, I'll sponsor it.
Who knows?
Hey. Well, there you go.
Sometimes that's how it goes. So anyway, yeah, SummerSlam's in town. Up in Cleveland, we'll be heading to the plan is to go to Cleveland tomorrow afternoon after the show. So
we are going to Cleveland tomorrow.
So we can go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Jeremy can just, pour his derision upon every great artist that's ever existed, except for Creed, which will never be enshrined into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
So the Ocho with a super chat.
Yeah.
He said, live your life, go to the event, HWA, and Andy will be fine. And he will throw some super chats to help with the cost. That is because you are the real MVP.
That is
Ocho.
awesome. That is awesome.
It's also a good time to point out that our first Live in the Dream fireside chat will be after the Hall of Fame game tonight. Uncensored on the YouTubes. The first one, this is like good cocktails in a casino. The first one's free. It's public.
Mm-hmm.
So it won't be as uncensored as it usually will be. After the first one, they will all be through the Patreon.
There you go.
Of which you can find the link to our Patreon on all of our social medias or in the link of every YouTube video we've ever done.
Indeed. Big move being made today by my team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have once again set another contract record. I think this is the 18th contract record that has been set in this offseason. Everybody gets more than the last guy, and that is the same with Tristan Wirfs. 5-year contract, $140.63 million. Jeremy, he gets $88.24 million guaranteed in the deal. That now puts him, average annual value of the deal, now puts him the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL, $100,000 more a year, more than Penei Sewell of the Detroit Lions. I will pose the question to you. Is this a mistake? Or is this a bad value? Is there anything negative about this deal for Tampa?
No. This is what you had to do. I mean, look, when you have – I will never, ever have an issue with teams paying studs. Tristan Wirfs is a stud.
Yes.
Even though I do think logistically he is better on the right side than he is on the left. That's not the negative that I think when I say that, people take it as a way bigger negative than it actually is. And look, he held up last year on the left side. I'm not saying he was bad.
He was pretty good.
He was good.
I think he was like the third highest rated left tackle in the league last year, according to PFF.
Yeah, that's one of those kind of like how hot dogs are made. The deeper you dig into that, the more you don't want to consume it anymore. But he's a stud. He's a stud, and there just aren't many of those guys. I mean, you look over the last handful of draft classes. How many guys did we think were going to be rock star foundation pieces on offensive lines that didn't wind up being?
Right.
I mean, my team, Mekhi Becton, after his rookie year, he was better than Tristan Wirfs in year one. He never was again. And so if you've got a guy like this, of course you pay him. He is one of those straws that stir the drink.
Yes.
He'll never be anybody's favorite player on a team. You're not going to see his jersey all that often, but he's worth absolutely every cent. I said the same thing about Christian Darrisaw. I've said the same thing about Trent Williams. I said the same thing about Penei Sewell. When you've got a stud offensive lineman, top 5 in the league at his position, I don't really care what that position is. If it's tackle, even better. But I feel the same way about guards and centers. Your line is crucial. New York Jets found this out the hard way last year. Tennessee Titans found this out the hard way last year. I don't care what you put around them. If you can't block, you're doomed.
And there are certain positions in this league that if I'm running a team, I have to check the box on. To me, that order goes quarterback, left tackle, and pass rusher. Those are my 3 must-haves to feel good about my team going in. Does that sound – am I leaving anything out? Is there a more important position to you? And let me ask, do you have a different cornerstone of positions?
I think I try to build teams slightly differently than you do. So you said edge rusher, quarterback, offensive tackle.
Yes. Not in that order.
No. I was just saying the three positions.
Yes.
Quarterback for me is paramount. If the quarterback's right, I can throw lipstick on this pig many different ways. So, I mean, did you ever notice that Tom Brady didn't necessarily have the most elite left tackles? There were a whole lot of was it Matt Light?
Yes. He was pretty good.
He was fine. Tom Brady made him look like a star.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily that I don't put that on that list. It's just, for me, those kind of get into either or. Pass rusher becomes either or. I don't have to have Myles Garrett if I've got Sauce Gardner.
Okay.
Because I think corner is insanely important because of the depth with which wide receivers are coming into this league. Having a guy that I can either shut down a side or I can shut down a star, that to me is every bit as valuable as the superstar pass rusher. I ask you this. I'll use the names I just said. Sauce Gardner or Myles Garrett. You had to pay one of them right now. Which one would it be?
It would be Sauce.
It would be for me too.
And that comes down to position
scarcity.
There are absolutely.
The 10th best corner in the league is light years behind Sauce.
Yes.
The 10th best pass rusher in the league is still quite serviceable.
He's just a single light year away from Myles Garrett.
I mean, 10 at corner would probably be somebody like Deron Bland. And this is just the first name that came to my head off the top of my head without looking at the list that we have done. The 10th pass rusher in the league would be Hassan Reddick.
Which still, there's a gap there.
There's a
noticeable gap between Myles and – but that's what I'm saying. He's not multiple light years away. He's just one light year away. Position scarcity definitely would factor into that. My only point here being is that at least you got one. Looking at this from a Tampa Bay Buccaneers standpoint, okay, we got one. Sure, we had to hand out $100 million to our safety, but that's also – if you've got one of one in the NFL, there's no chance I'm not paying that guy.
Well, and that was the next thing I was going to say is this is not it's not boilerplate. There are countless ways to do this.
Yes.
If I've got a safety like Antoine Winfield, it makes up for the fact that at linebacker I'm Elimino bad, and I don't necessarily have the elite pass rusher.
And even worse now. We're even worse at linebacker now. Today in practice, Yaya Diaby went down. He's got an ankle. They don't know how bad it is. But if that's bad, then that's really bad for the Buccaneers because you are already going to be hurting. And that's, in the pass rush realm anyway, losing Yaya would be pretty bad. Yeah, pretty bad for the Todd Bowles defense. But we've got a new leader in the clubhouse in money when it comes to offensive linemen in the NFL. Tristan Wirfs of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting $28.1 million a year as now the top lineman in the money category in the NFL. When you have a guy on your list, when you have a guy on your team that you could very well see grabbing that gold jacket that we're getting ready to watch this weekend, you do whatever you have to keep him in your building. And that's where the Bucs are at right now. I could very well see a path where we go back to the days where Tony Mayberry, who was the center for the Bucs in the late 80s, early 90s, well, pretty much all through the 90s, he was the best player on any of those teams. I could see a path where we could go back to that at some point if this all falls apart, comes crashing down.
That dude has lived rent-free in your head all day.
Who?
Tony Mayberry. I think you
said
because
it's
12 times.
Well, to me, it's the perfect. It's the perfect analogy of where this team could be. You don't have a lot of stars that are going to be sticking around, I don't think. Right, Mike Evans is not long for this world. He's got 2-3 more years probably, and then he'll be hanging it up. We'll give him whatever he needs to make it through. Chris Godwin, he'll be a free agent and go somewhere where he can possibly win. They were able to keep Mike Evans around this past offseason. Maybe they can do it with Chris Godwin when he comes up again. But the attrition is going to continue to occur unless we can add more through the draft, and we haven't been drafting all that well. You know, maybe Jalen McMillan turns into a thing at wide receiver. We just don't know at this point. All I'm saying is at least I've got that one. At least I've got that one piece, that one box checked. And I have zero problems with making Tristan Wirfs the highest paid offensive lineman in the entire league. I think he's worth it. And then at some point, of course, the next guy up is going to he'll blow him out of the water as far as money made, and then he'll set the new record. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We're on the Livin' the Dream Tour from the Lake House in Ohio. Livin' the Dream Tour brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, and Dale's Pale Ale. We'll be right back here on ESPN Asheville.
Halftime means back-to-school shopping time at Target.
All right, you're clear.
We're saving 30% off.
Wow. Thank you, sir.
Look at this. Backpacks, clothes, shoes, at 30% off.
There's the pizza backpack my kid wants. Add to cart.
Oh, my daughter's gonna love this heart tee. Better grab some leggings, too.
Even notebooks, folders, pencils.
And glue sticks and crayons? All at 30% off this week only.
My sideline shopping game is strong.
When it comes to getting 30% off, Target has your back to school.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as one pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
When you're ready to go back in the day,
y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
Check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
This is how we do it.
Allow me to introduce myself. Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come
on. This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dales available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Ford Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingles, we know that a lot of our heroes
now you look like a pro.
Are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingles.
See you later, Dad.
All the ingredients for family.
Ain't no truth on the radio station. Somebody owes me an explanation.
The Sportsocracy.
Just living the dream.
That's right. We are living the dream with Ingles Markets, Dale's Pale Ale, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, Clarissa Sells, WNC.com. We are live from the Lake House in Lake Milton, Ohio. Very beautiful place. Strategically placed in between Canton and Cleveland so we can check out the finest things that Central Ohio has to offer.
It does explain why when trying to book accommodations for this, I went, damn, is Cleveland proud of its places to stay downtown. I didn't know you had SummerSlam as well. And I'm going to be real. I mean, this is not a shot at wrestling fans. Y'all will take all of your earnings from Radio Shack and throw it into a weekend like this. Look, he's one of them. I mean, I'm not. I was one as a kid. Oh, you're a wrestling fan. Stop it.
I mean, I was. Back in the day, there was a time back in the day. You said, let's go to SummerSlam, and I went,
I saw this at 2 o'clock this morning. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason I saw it is because I couldn't sleep. And I was poking around Ticketmaster going, hey, is there anything that we could do Friday night while we're in Cleveland? And all of a sudden I found this, there's a stage show with all these professional wrestlers. And I went, why is The Undertaker at some random stage in Cleveland? And Sami Zayn's there tonight. And I couldn't figure it out. And then I scrolled down and went, oh.
They're doing warm-up events.
Well, that feels like a happy accident.
For SummerSlam. Okay.
And I swear I think I saw this. I think I saw that this was happening. And it went in one ear and out the other.
Right. It tells you how big of a wrestling fan I am. I didn't even know SummerSlam was happening this weekend, much less know that it was happening right down the street from us. But could be fun. Could be something to go check out. We can go see Gunther. Gunther's just going to beat the snot out of somebody again.
Why do you say his name that way?
God, just because.
And yes, he's going
Gunther.
Damian Priest would be who he is.
Not as into it.
CM Punk, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre. He's fun to watch.
Seth Rollins is the special guest referee.
He just doesn't have that power that it used to when I was a kid. Like, I'd get really excited for, Sting and Vader and Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. And nowadays, it's just, I don't really know these guys.
Well, I think this is one of those opportunities that we just look at and go, well,
it's here.
There's not going to be,
there
won't be events like this at everything we go to. And look, I'll go ahead and tell you, if we get into this building, our seats, we probably should take off right now. Because the hike to get to wherever we're sitting is going to be a ways away.
Right. The only thing I did was I looked for concerts in Cleveland just to see if anybody was going to be in town. That's why I said John Fogerty, because it was the only thing that was happening in Cleveland that night, and now I know why. Big shows every other weekend, except for this one. Probably because they knew SummerSlam was going to be in town. Shocker of shockers. Anyhow, we are here for the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame game tonight. Chicago Bears, Houston Texans. And then, of course, on Saturday will be the induction of 7 new members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, including Carolina Panthers great Julius Peppers, Dwight Freeney, Andre Johnson, Steve Mongo McMichael. There's your tie-in to the wrestling world.
I'm not going to lie, I already crossed that bridge of I feel like God's trying to tell us, go to SummerSlam. Your wife will not be that angry. She will probably enjoy you being gone for an extra night.
Possibly. It very well could happen. Let's see. Bad news today out of Browns camp. Deontay Foreman had to be taken to the hospital after sustaining a blow to his head that resulted in neck pain. Immobilized on a backboard just before being put into the ambulance and then transported via helicopter to a hospital in Roanoke, Virginia. Because they're in West Virginia at Greenbrier.
Yeah.
Doing their their training camp. So, man, that's
it's
bad news.
it's
I
the
hate
worst.
it.
It's the worst part of training camp, and you get these. We had Roman Wilson yesterday. That actually wound up not being as serious as it looked.
Okay, good.
Awful.
Good, but it was not.
Week to week.
Okay. All right. As long as
possible for the start of the season.
Okay. As long as it's a week-to-week thing, I hate seeing guys do all of the off-season work, right? They put in all the training, go through the training camps, and then right before the preseason happens or, God forbid, in a preseason game, boom, injury happens, you're done for the year, and it's a complete waste of time. And now you got to work to build your way back. My heart goes out to the guys that it does happen to. The Pro Bowl's going back to Orlando. Woo! 2025. Just saw that pop across the screen here. 2025 Pro Bowl.
But why?
Pro Bowl's going to Orlando.
Like, of all the places that you could do the Pro Bowl, how does it end up at like Disney World? I mean, Hawaii. I understood guys going, I'll take a free trip to Hawaii. Vegas. I get a free trip to Vegas.
Yep.
Orlando. That to me feels like, well, Bill, you were the third best salesman at the paper company this year, and we're going to send your family to Disney World.
It's better than the set of steak knives. So,
I mean, I guess. A fourth place trip to, never mind. No good can come from
Careful.
No good can come from what I was getting ready to say there.
Careful on who you're going to offend here.
Oh, no, it was far enough away. It just move on. If I called a joke, it means I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's leading down a path that you're never going to come back from. Oh, anyway, as I was thinking about the run up to the show here and the Tristan Wirfs deal, I feel like when you have a Hall of Famer in your building, you got to do whatever it takes to keep him. And then for some reason, I just, my brain works in weird ways. I went over to the Pro Football Hall of Fame monitor that is run by Pro Football Reference. I always like using this just as a frame of reference to see where guys stack up and they bring together the Hall of Fame score, and they, how many All-Pros did you win? How many championships did you win? How many Pro Bowls did you go to? Your overall stats and statistics, things like that. The highest score in the Hall of Fame monitor belongs to who?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, obviously. Peyton Manning's 2. Would you like to guess who is 3? It is an active player. This is the highest Hall of Fame monitor score as far as quarterbacks go. Number 3 is not in the Hall of Fame.
Pat Mahomes.
Nope. It is not Pat Mahomes.
That would have made sense. Anything else, you're smoking crimes.
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
3-time MVP,
Okay.
Super Bowl champion. Aaron Rodgers is the 3rd highest rated quarterback in history.
Really?
Yes. Just ahead
He's my quarterback, and that seems high to me.
Just ahead of Brett Favre.
Brett Favre should not be in this discussion.
Brett Favre is 4.
That's dumb.
Johnny Unitas, Joe Montana. That's the top 5 in accumulating records and All-Pros.
I feel like
and
whoever
MVPs.
set that list got drunk and went, hey, watch this, I'm going to flip it.
Oh,
I turned it upside down, and we'll see if anybody notices
This is what? Numbers don't lie.
Oh, numbers do at times lie, and this is one of those times.
This is one of those times.
If you don't have Joe Montana at 2, I could give you 3 because Peyton Manning makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Anybody else ahead of Joe Montana, and you're smoking crimes. Mm-hmm. And if Brett Favre's in this discussion, and frankly, I'm not 100% sure I love the fact that Aaron Rodgers is in this discussion. That one I get way more than Brett Favre. But
So Joe Montana is actually 6. He just misses the top 5. Johnny Unitas rounding out the top 5. Drew Brees is next on the list after Joe Montana, which seems pretty high.
Drew set a lot of records. record.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Finished his career with the yards record and the touchdowns record and all of that. All of that, of course, then erased by Tom Brady in his 80 years that he played in the NFL. I just like looking at this, though, to ask this question, Jeremy. Who is the lowest rated, or I guess the lowest Hall of Fame score of a quarterback that's in the Hall of Fame?
I feel like you're setting me up for this to be Joe Namath.
It is not.
Okay.
It is not. And that's one of the reasons that I posed it to you, because I'm all the time talking about, most overrated quarterback, to get under your skin, obviously. But he's also one of the names that always comes up when you talk about overrated quarterbacks, guys getting in on personality rather than what they achieved on the football field. Joe Namath is pretty much the poster child for that argument.
Well, look, Joe just played he played a different game.
Sure.
I always gristle at that you cannot tell the story of the NFL without Joe Namath.
No.
You just can't do it.
No, absolutely not. That changed everything at the time. 1969 was no one believed that the AFL could hang with the NFL. It was like the XFL versus the NFL. That's how people thought about it anyway. It was just the junior circuit, like baseball. The American League versus the National League. The National League's always been considered the senior circuit. American League was always the junior circuit. That's how the NFL was back right there post-merger. They didn't think that the AFL could compete. And then that happened. And then the Jets come in and win the Super Bowl, and then everything flipped. And then you had the fact that he was such a big star. He was so popular. He was like the NFL's first real social media star. Because he was in every newspaper, he was in every magazine, he was hanging out with the hottest women and all the actresses and stuff, and he was just the guy that everybody wanted to be. And then the fact that he won a Super Bowl on top of it with the guarantee, and as we did the Hall of Fame, what would we put in our own Hall of Fame daily draft the other day before we left town? And you had the swimsuit and the mink coat. It's more flash than it actually was substance. So I am shocked that he's not the one. The lowest Hall of Fame score for a quarterback, who's obviously in the Hall of Fame. Your best guess would be who?
A guy that's in. I don't know how they compute that. I feel like Super Bowls and things like that have to weigh really heavy.
Mm-hmm. They do.
The two names that came to my mind immediately were Warren Moon and Dan Fouts.
Okay. Warren Moon is just ahead of Joe Namath. So he's
down
near the bottom, but not at the bottom. Who was the other one you just said?
Dan Fouts.
Dan Fouts. He's actually much higher than both of the guys.
He had a lot of empty calorie stats.
Sure.
So that's again going completely blind as to the actual criteria here. That was just the first day. I mean, you could end up saying somebody like George Blanda.
No,
that was just an old name.
This is one you know, and we all revere him, but he had a tough break because he never could get it done. It's obviously not Dan.
No.
Dan's like 7.
And should be.
Yeah. It's Jim Kelly. Shocks me because I thought he was more talented than that. But also, he probably was more talented than that. He never racked up the stats like many guys
have
did.
to. He had a defense that was really good.
Right. He had a hell of a running back in Thurman Thomas.
Really good running back.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked at that. Second lowest Hall of Fame quarterback score. He won a lot. I just always questioned whether or not they won because of him or whether he just kind of led them there. It was Troy Aikman.
I almost said Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
That one was on the tip of my lips, but I couldn't get there with Super Bowls. I didn't think they would have anybody that low.
The bottom 5 in the Hall of Fame are Warren Moon, Joe Namath, Lynn Dawson, Troy Aikman, and Jim Kelly at the bottom. Those are quarterbacks that are in the Hall of Fame that did not score well on the Hall of Fame monitor, which again brings into Pro Bowls, All-Pros statistics during the regular season. How many records did you break? How many times did you finish in the top 5 of certain categories, all of that. And then again, I think part of me just wanted to bring all of this up because Eli Manning is rated way ahead of all of those guys. And
that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to me either. It does not make sense to me either. But there it is. Eli Manning all time falls into a category. I'm going to give you the window here from Hall of Famer to Hall of Famer. Kurt Warner in the Hall of Fame. It goes Russell Wilson, Eli Manning, Ken Anderson, and then Ken Stabler, Hall of Famer. The 3 guys in the middle there, not Hall of Famers.
I have no qualm with that quintet being together. None.
But if 2 of them are in the Hall of Fame and one of them's going into the Hall of Fame, right? It's guaranteed. Eli Manning will be in the Hall of Fame. He's the guy that slayed Brady twice in the Super Bowl.
Eli will be in, probably be a first ballot guy.
Ken Anderson, there's been a lot of discussion for him over the years.
I've thought he should be in for years.
Mm-hmm. He's one of those veterans hanging around out there.
Our daily draft tomorrow, we will be selecting players that are not in after we've gone through the museum today.
Yeah.
That we would put, if we were made the czar of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the 6 guys we would each put in right now.
I like it a lot. So then I guess that brings me to a guy that you like to bash, at least now in his career, Russell Wilson.
He would never get there.
Hall of Fame?
Never get there for me.
Really? Okay.
It's hard for me to look at a guy that because to me, if Russell Wilson's in, I feel like Joe Flacco should be in. You were no better than the 4th reason your team won a Super Bowl. Because for me, Legion of Boom defense, Marshawn Lynch, Pete Carroll.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them are even close. Then Russell Wilson's 4. And no shot.
Yeah. Just not getting there.
I mean, look, I'm a bit of a stricter grader than you are. You know, I look at guys over the course of guys that have gone out of the league. Matt Ryan, no shot. If I'm on that panel, I wouldn't even you would bring that name up, I would laugh at you and go take a piddle. Really? I'll let you morons discuss this because there is no path that you get me to say yes to that.
Mm-hmm.
He was fine. He was good.
Winning.
He had 1 MVP year.
Yep.
But for me, if you let in Matt Ryan, you have to let in Cam Newton, and that is a path that I am never, ever, 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 ever going down.
No. Just for reference, Cam Newton ahead of Joe Namath in the Hall of Fame monitor.
And that is the stupidest thing.
Well, he won an
today.
MVP. Right?
Joe Namath won a Super Bowl.
I get it. Cam Newton was in a Super Bowl,
and
he lost one. But he also has the MVP to make up in the score.
And got obliterated. Oh, he won an MVP. Awesome. So did Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
Other active quarterbacks that are in this discussion, that are in the realm.
I think we should do that coming back from the break.
Let's do that coming back from the break. That are already, according to the Hall of Fame monitor, in the discussion to be in the Hall of Fame right now. Obviously, there's one that we all know. He's already knocking on the door of punching his ticket, and, well, he's in. But who else falls into that category? We will continue the discussion after this on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We're live on the road, the Livin' the Dream Tour, coming to you from the Lake House in Ohio, preparing for the Hall of Fame game tonight. Festivities stretching through the weekend here. And we're on the road with our good friends at Ingles Markets, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, and Dale's Pale Ale. Sportsocracy will be right back.
This is your Exergen temporal scanner.
All right, clear.
ESPN Asheville.
Warmer weather continuing over the next 2 days. Maybe a shower thunderstorm coming in this afternoon, widely scattered around. So heads up, you could run into some tropical downpours, gusty winds. No widespread severe. 90 degrees should do it. Unless it rains, you're going to cool off a bit. Tonight, threat for showers and thunderstorms early. Overnight low of 70. Likely storms late tomorrow, just in time for the Friday evening out and the Friday evening commute. Up into the low 90s. Heat index 100. Few showers and thunderstorms over the weekend. Upper 80s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey, DQ fans, the $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal will leave you and your wallet full. Grab a bacon cheeseburger and order of regular fries, a drink, and a sundae for a whole lot of happy. Only at participating DQ locations. Happy tastes good.
Win your way to our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One. September 20th and 21st.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Starting Monday, listen for your chance to be there.
Hey, pool season fanatics.
Hey, Thomas.
Is calling.
How does how's the signal sound? Are we breaking up any, or are we having any problems?
There have been 2 times where you guys cut out for just a second.
Okay.
But that was it.
Okay.
And featured in national publications like Good Housekeeping and Woman's Day. And check out this 5-star Google review. My dental experience was wonderful. I cannot say enough about Dr. Merrill and her amazing team at Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry. Dr. Merrill took time to explain everything. She made me feel relaxed and confident that I was in good hands.
Are we doing a Get Weird after this break?
Those were tears of joy. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Dr. Merrill, for the hope to get my smile back. Check out Asheville Smiles online at ashevillesmiles.com.
WWNC is Western North Carolina's news and information station.
On your radio and on your phone with the free iHeartRadio app.
You'll have the smartest smartphone in town.
News Radio 570 WWNC.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
We're getting weird after this, right?
Have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price.
Weird story?
And customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving.
Got 59 seconds.
Delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's Parks Ford.
30 seconds.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially
10
to scare you. But it isn't that to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube, live on the road near Canton, Ohio. Lake Milton, Ohio is where we're at. Coming to you live from the lake house here. Just a stone's throw away from the water, as we'll be heading over to Canton in just a couple hours here, right after the program. Head over, check out the Hall of Fame game tonight, Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans, the first preseason game of the NFL. Jeremy, why don't you impart us with your weird story here, because my computer just shut down and I'm trying to sign in frantically. What
you struggling with?
No, it signed me out because something timed out, and now I can't get back in. It's just, I got to go through all of put my passwords in.
Oh, that's
finger
fun.
codes and all that.
Have you ever heard the term aninga?
No.
It's a bird.
Okay.
It's a bird that is causing quite a stir in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
It's known as the devil bird. It's a it looks like a seagull if a seagull hung out with Charlie Sheen for too long. It's like a really worse for the wear seagull.
Okay.
Well, apparently they're not common in Maine, but they have taken up residence. We have 39 confirmed sightings this year alone.
Okay.
There hadn't been 20 confirmed sightings ever before this year.
Wow.
Now, I tell this story. Its name originates from the Tupi language.
Yeah.
From Brazil.
Yeah.
I don't know what this thing's purpose in life is, but it looks, I mean, for me, if you wrapped my nightmare, it took my 5 biggest nightmares, wrapped them together, let me marry them, and then divorce them, that is how terrifying this thing looks.
Yeah, I mean, it does to me look like a cross between a seagull and a condor, although it looks like it has a 7-inch bladed beak.
Yep.
It's got quite the little wingspan on it. And
also
why do they call it the devil bird? That's the real
really?
question.
It has a long, narrow neck with a dagger-pointed bill. That's the official description off Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And you can't figure out why they call that the devil bird.
I just figured there'd be.
You have a condor with a blade on its face. The thing that scares me the most is, do you know where these things are actually found?
North Pole.
Florida. Texas. The Mid-Atlantic. And North Carolina. Yep, didn't need a reason to never go to the beach again, but you gave me one, so thanks.
There you go. Devil birds are out there.
I don't need demon bird ruining my day at the beach.
They're looking to ruin your entire life. Why are you even concerned about this? Because now the drones are armed? Is that what you're concerned about?
Well, that's what really scares me, is that now we're giving the drones weapons. And so now not only can they surveil you for Amazon, but they can eradicate you if you, like me, know the truth.
Excellent. Okay, Jeremy is now terrified of the devil bird and will never be going back to the coast of North Carolina.
Nope. I'll go to a beach that doesn't have the devil bird.
You just staying away from all of it. All right, it is the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. I could not.
You just
it.
tapped.
I couldn't find it. The story that I had earlier. It didn't.
I really,
however, I did get.
I mean, of all the things that we have recorded since we've been here,
yes,
I do wish I had better recordings of your technological difficulties. The best way I can describe it is if you gave a monkey a coconut and tried to, and you asked him to solve quantum physics with it, because that's really what it's looked like. The answer's in here, and I must beat on it.
Just can't find it.
Why is the answer not coming out of this thing?
Right. Look, I need to be, they're telling me I need to be more of an influencer these days. And so that means being more active on social media and TikToking.
Well, I mean, you influence me every day.
And things. And, to drink?
Well, that. But, I mean, a lot of things influence me to drink. You influence me of whatever it is he did, I need to do not that.
Yes. Yes, precisely. And it's not good. Look, it took me like 3 hours the other day to create a 30-second TikTok. I'm not great at it, but I'm working on it. Okay, there's always room for improvement here. It's not like I'm going to be going into the social media Hall of Fame or anything.
I mean, was that asking you for a quarterly evaluation? Because room for improvement was written in it no less than 17 times.
Absolutely. There's always room for improvement. And that's, I know I've always got a step up coming in the career at some point.
My evaluation was just a piece of paper that said, try to be nicer.
Yes.
Every day to every person.
We're talking about the Hall of Fame, obviously. 7 more guys going into the Hall of Fame this year. This Saturday in Canton, we will be there for the ceremonies and such. No quarterbacks going in on this one. We have defensive ends, no quarterbacks. We were talking before the break about quarterbacks and the Hall of Fame monitor, the Hall of Fame scoring that Pro Football Reference tracks for us. Of active quarterbacks right now in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers, we already said 3 overall in the Hall of Fame monitor score, right behind Tom Brady and Peyton Manning as the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Of the quarterbacks still playing in the NFL, we've got Aaron at the top, and then you've got a precipitous drop down to one familiar name, Patrick Mahomes. According to the Hall of Fame monitor, he's already done enough, and we all can agree with that. He's done enough. If he decided to quit today,
first ballot Hall of Famer.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
And it wouldn't take 3 seconds for them to resolve that.
Yes. He is already ranked above Hall of Fame quarterbacks Terry Bradshaw, Roger Staubach, Dan Fouts, and Kurt Warner, all in 7 years that he's been in the NFL. After Patrick Mahomes is Russell Wilson.
No shot. I don't think he ever gets in.
It's going to be interesting to see how he's remembered, right? 5-10 years after he retires. Say he retires in another 2 years. It doesn't happen this year. I'll give him credit that maybe he has a second act coming with the Pittsburgh Steelers or something. I don't know. Anyhow, 8 to 10 years down the road, will he be looked at differently? Or will the end of the career be so bad, right, with the Denver Broncos, worst trade in NFL history? We've talked about it time and time again. He goes to Denver, doesn't do squat, goes to Pittsburgh. Let's say that this is just mediocre to fine, right? They're the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're 9-8 for the next 2 years, and he's the quarterback. Then he retires. In 10 years, will we be talking about the end of the career more than we were the good years in Seattle?
Well, I feel like Russ, I mean, to me, and I've felt this way basically the entire time that he's been in the league, he's the most overrated player I think I've ever seen. And the only thing I can wrap my brain around is that he was a mid-round pick that a lot of people knew, especially around here, because he had played baseball in Asheville, but at NC State, then he went to Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. He was a household name, but he was not a household prospect. He goes to the league, and he was competent. I can't really say I'll get to good. You will never get me to say a better word than that.
Okay.
This is a dude that broke 4,200 yards 2 times in his entire career, and he did it combined in those 2 seasons by less than the distance of the room we're sitting in right now. That's not a Hall of Famer to me. He had 40 touchdowns 1 year. Mm-hmm. He was in the 30s, 3 other times?
Yeah.
There's nothing – to me, there was never anything elite about Russell Wilson. He was the point guy on a team that had a really good defense and had a really good rushing attack, mm-hmm. and had a really good coach. He was good. This ain't the Hall of Good. It's the Hall of Fame. And to me, he's famous for all the wrong reasons.
Now he is.
I thought he always was.
Really?
I always thought he was a goober, to be really honest with you.
Okay.
To me, he was like Mr. Rogers without the you had the wholesome, but you were just so geeky. And I don't know Russell Wilson at all. I don't do baseball. I wasn't around when he was
in Asheville.
Right. I have none of that. I always thought his shtick was just lame at best.
What kind of yuck?
Yeah.
Kind of gosh kind of guy. Yeah. I get that.
And then you look at the play on the field. He was a good rushing quarterback. And here's where I would shut things down with Russell Wilson. In terms of career, the player, not the result. Is there anything he ever did besides a Super Bowl that you wouldn't look at Randall Cunningham and go, you were a better player, you were more talented, you were everything. You did Russell Wilson better than Russell Wilson did. Have we ever for 4 seconds considered putting Randall Cunningham in the Hall of Fame?
No, I have not.
Donovan McNabb. Is he better at anything?
I've often thought Donovan might deserve to be a Hall of Famer someday, but it's never happening.
No, he never even came close.
I was a big fan,
and I know Donovan. So I mean, if anybody was going to be biased there, it'd be me.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, you use both of those guys because in the Hall of Fame monitor score, Donovan McNabb is just ahead of Randall Cunningham by tenths of points. And they're far. I mean, they're both below Jim Kelly, who is the lowest rated quarterback in the NFL.
And to me, they're both. It's the same career.
Again, vastly superior to both of those guys is Cam Newton, according to the Hall of Fame.
Which is insanity.
I just love seeing his eyes roll when that happens.
Because it's stupid.
Right. Russell Wilson is a guy that I feel like if it hadn't been for the latter years, maybe he'd be remembered differently. Maybe there'd be something different about this. But the whole yuck thing, the good, wholesome, he's a winner. Remember all of he's such a smart guy. He graduated from 2 different universities in his football career, and he was all of that kind of waned in the later years, right? He started dating Ciara. And then there was all the hubbub about where's he going to go when this is over with Seattle, and they were courting him in New Orleans, and then the Denver thing happened, and it's just been a snowball of misery since then.
Okay, we got to take a break.
Yeah, we do.
I want to keep talking about this because there's something that you haven't said yet that just it boggles my brain, and we got to keep talking about quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So let's take a break, and we'll pick back up at the top of the hour.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll be right back.
I want to learn how to cook.
All right,
sorry I blew past the break
goals
there.
is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
If you're listening to this Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance ad, there's a good chance that you're alive. And if you're not, well, this may not be of interest to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Life insurance, I'm going to live forever. Death is what happens to other people. Well, for the sake of argument, let's assume you're wrong, and that someday you won't be listening to the radio anymore. I know it's not easy to talk about, so I'll do the talking. If you're 50 plus and alive, or 50 to 75 in New York, you can apply for Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance with guaranteed acceptance regardless of your health. And since this life insurance is guaranteed, you don't have to get a medical exam. In fact, you don't even have to fill out a health questionnaire. For a free quote, visit GerberLifeFamily.com. Then when you stop, if you stop listening to the radio, your family can use the insurance money to help cover your final expenses or anything else. Your kids already inherited your ears, allergies, and questionable singing voice. Don't make them inherit your final expense tab too. Visit GerberLifeFamily.com. See website for terms and restrictions.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy. Let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out.
We got about a minute and a half.
Catch a big one.
Little less than that. More like minute 17, I guess.
Ingredients for family.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
I'm magic.
2 days, maybe a shower thunderstorm coming in this afternoon, widely scattered around. So heads up, you could run into some tropical downpours, gusty winds, no widespread severe. 90 degrees should do it. Unless it rains, you're going to cool off a bit. Tonight, threat for showers and thunderstorms early, overnight low of 70. Likely storms late tomorrow, just in time for the Friday evening out and the Friday evening commute up into the low 90s. Heat index 100. Few showers and thunderstorms.
But you're not coming out over YouTube, are you?
Oh, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey, DQ fans, the $7 bacon cheeseburger meal deal will leave you and your wallet full. Grab a bacon cheeseburger and order of regular fries, a drink, and a sundae for a whole lot of happy. Only at participating DQ locations. Happy tastes good.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
ESPN Asheville is WPEK W225CJ Fair.
All right, about 10 seconds.
Radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy is live on the road for the Livin' the Dream Tour. And you are, of course, listening on ESPN Asheville and on the iHeartRadio app. And, of course, you can watch us all the time on the YouTubes. Once you go to the Sportsocracy.com, click the live video link in the middle of the page, subscribe to the channel, so that way you can join us for all of the festivities here in Ohio. We're coming to you from the Lake House, Lake Milton, Ohio, strategically placed between Canton and Cleveland, as we will be taking in the best of both cities. It appears that we may be having the ball rolling on staying for another night, going to SummerSlam, which is apparently going to be at the Browns Stadium on Saturday night.
SummerSlam.
We did not know that that was the case when we got here, but sometimes plans have to change, and when there's a pay-per-view near you and you get a chance, maybe you got to take us up on that. Maybe another chance for us to hook up with our good friend Chris Oder, who came to hang out with us when we were in Indianapolis. Chris lives in Cincinnati, or roundabout Cincinnati, right?
somewhere
around up in that area. So it'd be.
I barely remember
great.
where I live.
We got any other more Ohio people that want to make the trip down? We're all game. You just let us know.
Beers in a truck. Let's go.
Exactly.
Dale's Pale Ale sent us
of it.
with. Let's see. I think they gave us 418 cases of beer. So wherever we go, that's where the party at, player.
Yep, we have more than enough to share with the fine folks of Ohio. We haven't been out anywhere yet, so I'm not sure if like Dale's is the thing in Ohio. Is this one of those things like, are we bootlegging here? Are we taking Coors across the border when we're not supposed to? Like, I don't know if they can get Dale's here, so we'll see.
Dale's is a national brand, sold in all 50.
Is it all over the place? I didn't know if it was one of those things that you just can't get it in certain areas. I don't know.
It's a wonderful product.
It is. It's
Comes
fantastic.
Straight out of Asheville,
I love it.
North Carolina.
I love it. We've got we've got some blue jean boxes in the truck with us, and some light lagers as well, which are Jeremy's forte.
I'm gonna have. Frankly, we got 56 minutes left here of this program, and there's probably gonna be one or two of those had with lunch. We haven't eaten food yet.
Yep. No, we have not. And somebody mentioned in the chat that before we leave here, we're going to have to check out the Roman Burger at Mr. Hero. I did a search. It looks like this is an Ohio chain, and they are everywhere apparently. And the Roman Burger looks like, so it's on one of those like long hoagie-looking buns. There's 2 beef patties side by side on the bun. So kind of like, I'm trying to think, it's kind of shaped like the Burger King chicken sandwich. You know, it comes on that long bun.
Oh, I do love the Burger King chicken sandwich.
So it's got 2 patties side by side on the bun. It's also topped with grilled salami.
Can I tell you a dirty little secret to me? And this is true.
Uh-huh.
I've never had a piece of salami in my entire
Oh, my gosh.
I've never had salami in my
You
entire
are
life.
kidding me.
Nope.
Wow. Okay, then this is definitely on the list now. Italian lunch meat on top of the salami, topped off with Swiss American cheese, which I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently there is such a thing as a Swiss American cheese.
Is that what happens when Swiss and American have too many cocktails?
Yeah, yeah. And then of course all of the lettuce, tomato, onions, mayo, and Mr. Hero's house dressing, whatever is in that. So that is one great suggestion.
Can we just
from
call
the chat.
that Thousand Island without seeing it?
I don't know.
I mean,
that it
burger
is.
sauce
I've been
is
looking-
it's different variations of Thousand Island.
It tends to be. But I'm looking at a picture of the sandwich, and I can't really see anything on it that looks pinkish or anything. So I don't. It doesn't. The picture doesn't really tell me what the secret sauce is. But hey, maybe we'll. Or I guess we will be making it a point to do that. I've already been told by Mark Starling that some of the people on the YouTube heard him helping us out with our audio issues before the show. I've already been told by him that I have to bring him back a container, I guess, of Skyline chili somewhere. I haven't seen a Skyline since we've been on the road.
It's a Cincinnati thing,
but I was told we are to stop somewhere and get him some Skyline chili and bring it back to him whenever that tends to be. This afternoon after the show, we'll be heading over to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, checking out everything that the museum has to offer. Tonight, the Hall of Fame game, Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. Hall of Famers represented in this class, or representing both of these teams in this class. Andre Johnson, greatest Houston Texan of all time.
J.J. Watt.
Second greatest Houston Texan of all time.
Don't go to 3. You won't like where it goes from there.
I mean, you still got Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins would be somewhere in that list. Top of that list.
I would say he's probably 3.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll just ignore the rest of the list because you're going to get to Deshaun Watson before you want to. And we can never
4.
have that happen.
You get to Deshaun Watson at 4.
Right. We can never have those two organizations tied together, or at least not right now, to each other anymore. The Chicago Bears.
You really have to massage that relationship.
Oh, the Chicago Bears represented by At least two of the members here. Jeremy says that Julius Peppers doesn't count as representing the Chicago Bears.
Nope.
In tonight's game, but he did play for them.
He's a Panther. Get over it.
He is a Carolina Panther, yes. But Devin Hester going in, obviously the first kick returner in history. I think it's very apropos, too, that we're getting the first kick returner in history to be enshrined into the Hall of Fame when we're changing all of the rules. Like the same year we're changing up how the kickoff goes, we're putting in the guy who did the old rule the best. And then Steve Mongo McMichael finally getting his call to the Hall of Fame. That is going to prove to be quite the emotional moment on Saturday when he gets his bust and makes the presentation from his home in Chicago because he is, bedridden with the ALS and all of the health issues that he's been fighting all of these years. But talking to Hall of Fame quarterbacks, because I opened the can of worms and now we have to go down. And now we found ourselves down this little wormhole here. Somebody said in the chat, you can't compare Matt Ryan and Cam Newton.
Of which I agree, just throwing that out there.
And I agree with that as well. One of them is far more Hall of Fame worthy than the other one.
Much better longevity, and the high side was – look, Cam had one high side year. Yes. Matt Ryan had a year that was every bit as good. They were both MVPs.
Yeah, but I was going to say
– his then had – all right, so you got one for Cam, one for Matt Ryan. The next 6 go to Matt Ryan. So.
Yes, precisely. One of the most dependable quarterbacks, we'll say, in the NFL through his 14 years that he was in the NFL. He was always one of the top 7 quarterbacks, at least. Matt Ryan to me is a Hall of Famer. Phillip Rivers to me is a Hall of Famer. Ben Roethlisberger, no question to me.
Phillip Rivers, no question.
Are you balking at Ben?
I'm not balking at Ben at all. Phillip Rivers.
Thank you.
I am somewhat balking at Phillip Rivers.
Really? Okay.
I am.
I mean, Phillip Rivers is Dan Fouts. If Dan Fouts is a Hall of Famer, Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer. In fact, the Hall of Fame record or Hall of Fame score here has them both very similar. 6-point difference between them.
The only difference is that Phillip Rivers played in a time that there were 8 Dan Fouts, and Dan Fouts played at a time that there was a Dan Fouts.
True. But does that make his...
Phillip Rivers was a stat accumulator in a stat accumulator era.
Does that make his achievements less? Because he was the 4th, 5th best quarterback in the AFC. Year in and year out, he had Tom Brady ahead of him and Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger. Those were the 3 that you knew every year they were going to be ahead of Phillip. Maybe not stat-wise, but at least success-wise.
And I guess that's where I fall in.
Yeah, but to me, even if you're the 4th best player every year for 10 years in the NFL, to me that's Hall of Fame worthy.
It's not to me.
Wow.
Yeah, the most damning stat to me on Phillip Rivers is he basically had, in terms of result, first 4 years he went 14-2, 11-5, 8-8, 13-3. Mm-hmm. From then on, he won more than 9 games twice in 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with that. Okay, so he threw for a lot. He threw for a lot of yards. He also had over 200 interceptions.
Mm-hmm. So did Brett Favre, though.
Yeah, Brett Favre won a Super Bowl. Phillip Rivers never came close. Never even. He was. If a Super Bowl was the beach, Phillip Rivers never even smelled the ocean. Yeah, I would blanket Phillip. Ben Roethlisberger, I don't. Statistically, he's not as impressive as Phillip Rivers, but he won a lot more.
I can agree with that.
I say, because here's the problem: you're not going to be able to let all of these guys in. You're just not. We went through a golden age of quarterbacks.
And see, I think I disagree with that.
Oh,
you can absolutely let all of these guys.
Okay, then we're going to have to start talking about some old hats real fast.
Like who?
Ken Anderson. If Phillip Rivers is in, Ken Anderson better be. And you don't. The backlog is too significant. You'll never get there. You'll never do it. And I think the Pro Football Hall of Fame does an infinitely better job at this than anybody else does.
Yeah.
They never go, outside of the one time, we're going to let 20 guys in this year. No, it's 5, 7, 9. That's where we're at.
Again, of current quarterbacks in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers, by far and away, he's ahead of everybody. He's number 3 on the Hall of Fame monitor scoring. Patrick Mahomes has already done enough in 7 years. His Hall of Fame score is just below the average Hall of Fame quarterback score. And then you've got Russell Wilson. And then just behind him is Matthew Stafford. Now that he has a Super Bowl, Matthew Stafford's in.
I would put Matthew Stafford in ahead of Phillip Rivers and wouldn't even think about it.
Why?
Wouldn't even blink at it.
But why?
Okay, so what are your criteria for getting into in the Hall of Fame? For me, it's talent, accomplishment, and then we get statistical after that. Matthew Stafford statistically is not light years behind Phillip Rivers.
No.
He's got a Super Bowl. You don't. And I think anybody with an IQ above salad dressing knows he was a better player. Now, the record's awful.
Yeah, quarterback record's terrible. Because obviously he was in Detroit for so many years.
If win-loss record is a quarterback stat, which I will argue that with you until I will argue it with you until you're tired of hearing me talk. That's the only thing that Rivers really has. And if you take away, he was 20 games over 500. Matt Stafford's 9 games below 500.
Right.
One of them played with LaDainian Tomlinson. The other's best running back in his life was Javid Best. So
or Reggie Bush.
No, that was at the tail end of Reggie.
Was it?
That was bad, Reggie.
The supporting cast was not great, other than obviously Megatron being around for Matthew Stafford in Detroit. I find this, I don't know, instructive, enlightening a little bit. Because once you get down into this next tier that I think starts with
I'm going to say one of the I'm going to say one of these should be in, and it's
with Matthew Stafford. Once you get down to this next tier, he heads the next tier to me of guys that are on the outside looking in at this stage of their career. The next one closest to him is Lamar. He's a 2-time MVP. There's no doubt.
Yeah, he'll be first ballot, no doubt Hall of Fame. That's the other problem. Do you know how many quarterbacks are in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know the total number.
36.
Okay.
I can't get to a place that Phillip Rivers is a top 40 quarterback all time.
Huh.
A guy that was never top 5 while he was playing. It's hard for me. Look, I'm not a leather helmets guy. That's one of the things you're going to find out about me when we go in the Hall of Fame later today.
Yeah.
Is, those wings, cool. Hey, let me get my gimbal and my camera, and I'm going to shoot that, and I'm going to walk away because I don't really care.
Right. The quarterbacks that are, just good enough but not in the Hall of Fame have not gotten the call. That's your Ken Andersons and who else is on this list? Because these other guys are coming. Next year is going to be Ben Roethlisberger and Eli Manning. First ballot, both of them, no questions will be asked, I don't think. You think?
Look who they're up against. Next year's going to be one of those years. If this trip's on the tour next year.
Forget about it. Darren Sproles is up next year.
Darren Sproles should be
a lifesaver.
100%. He is a 100% lifesaver because he kept you from getting groundhogged by a bus in Philadelphia.
Right. 2025's class: Luke Kuechly, Earl Thomas, Joe Staley, Marshawn Lynch, Eli Manning, Darren Sproles, Ryan Khalil, Clay Matthews. I think that's T. Sizzle. Terrell Suggs is on next year.
First ballot
No doubt.
Hall of Famer, no doubt.
No doubt about it.
That's where I was headed with this.
Uh-huh.
Next year, there are going to be some non-first ballot guys that are going to be. It will be upsetting. Let's put it that way.
And I need to correct myself because Roethlisberger, I said,
is the year
next
after.
Year. He's 2 years. He's in 2027. So he's not in next year's class.
Yeah, this will be his third year gone.
Yes. So 2027 will be when he's eligible. I thought I had seen that he and Eli were going to be the same year. Anyhow, I mean, it's tough to get into the Hall of Fame, no doubt about it. And I'm not saying that Phillip Rivers or Cam Newton or Eli well, I am saying about Eli because I think he will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Matthew Stafford. I'm not talking first ballot immediately.
Do you realize who?
But eventually.
Do you realize who didn't get in this year? Do you even understand the guys that didn't get in this year?
Who was it?
Antonio Gates didn't get in this year.
Yep. He should be there.
There's no path that anybody could explain to me how he's not a top 5 tight end of all time. If you want to ding him for the fact he couldn't block, I'll listen to it. But you're telling me you're literally going to look me in the face and tell me that you think Phillip Rivers is a better player historically than Antonio Gates. I won't even listen to it.
Yeah.
I will laugh at you and walk away. Rodney Harrison absolutely got no traction. He was in the final vote. I'm looking at the final vote right now.
Yep.
He was in the final vote. No traction. He's a top 6 to 8 safety ever. Didn't even really acknowledge him. Reggie Wayne may never get in. At the rate we're going, I swear to you, and I know that sounds crazy, he may never get in. Darren Woodson, I'll almost promise you he never gets in. He'll be a senior ballot guy 20 years from now.
Yes.
He's a top 10, 12 safety ever. This is Torrey Holt. I think Torrey, unpopular opinion, I think Torrey Holt was better than Reggie Wayne. Just didn't quite have the consistency at quarterback that Reggie Wayne did.
Right.
We're officially to a point where the fact that the Pro Football Hall of Fame does such a good job at what we're talking about here is what will keep this a discussion every single year. When was the last time we had a discussion about the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame? It's been a while. Because we don't care. You gave me a reason to not care because you took everything I grew up with and said, nope, that didn't happen.
Didn't count. Yep.
And now I couldn't name 6 players in your sport because that's how little I care. The NFL is going to be churning these things out every single year.
Yes.
Because I'm even looking at the guys that got knocked off in the semifinal. Tiki Barber, Anquan Bolden, Eddie George, Steve Smith, James Harrison, Hines Ward, Vince Wilfork. They couldn't even make it to the final vote. Couldn't even get to the final 15 players for us to vote on.
Yes.
Ricky Waters, he's been a semifinalist, I think, 87 times. It's what I love about this process. It's the Hall of Fame. Very good, need not apply. We'll stroke you along. We'll keep saying your name I'll go one step further. The first year Phillip Rivers is on the ballot, I will promise you he doesn't make it to the final ballot. He won't make it to the final 15 vote.
Sure. And I have no arguments about that. Like I said, I'm not saying first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm just saying eventually he's got to be in. Just like eventually Ken Anderson's got to be in. Eventually Torrey Holt's got to be in. Eventually we'll get to a point where these guys will get their due. Well, Veterans Committee or what?
Well, that's and there's the even better of this is that in this one we don't do that. We don't let in 10 senior ballot guys a year.
No,
it's 3.
Yeah,
that's the most we can let in a year. And I mean, I hate to tell you, London Fletcher is going to be in that boat. Robert Mathis is going to be in that boat.
Tiki will be in that boat.
Tiki will be in that boat of guys that, we just don't have the spots. Yeah. And every year we add 10 guys that are as deserving as you, if not more so.
Look, you ain't let Roger Craig in yet. Hold off on Tiki Barber.
Of all the names I think I could have gotten to, I don't know that I could have gotten there in the next 37 minutes, but okay.
At running back? At running back, Roger Craig is like number one.
Well, you know me.
Shunned from the NFL or Hall of Fame.
You know me in running back. So, A, that's not a hill I'm going to die on. Mm-hmm. B, that would not have been the name I would have brought up.
Who's the one you would have brought up? I'm just curious.
You're talking about at a specific position.
Yeah, you said Tiki Barber, and I just went. My mind went. Well, as far as running backs go, I've still got jobs to do there as well.
Well,
just like wide receiver, just like quarterback.
It took Adrian James 5 years.
Yeah.
So, and I got news for you. Adrian James is in a class that no other name I've said here is in. Mm-hmm. Fred Taylor can't even really sniff the final. I mean, he can get in the final ballot, but it's a name that comes up and they go, hey, we're glad we got him on this ballot this year. Next.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. The next one you got is Marshawn to talk about next year, which that's not a first ballot Hall of Fame guy.
Oh.
Is it?
First ballot? No.
No.
In terms of first ballot running backs,
Adrian Peterson. He'll be the next one. Yes. I don't see how you can look at Adrian Peterson as a serious voter for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, see his name on a ballot and go, I think maybe we'll make him wait. Maybe it'll be.
In secret time? They will.
Think so?
He won't get it. There will never be another running back gets in first ballot. I don't think. Unless there's somebody that I'm just and I know you're going to say Christian McCaffrey.
No,
if there's
not yet.
Oh, if there was a running back that was going to get in first ballot, it would be Christian McCaffrey 100 times and 200 on Sunday before Adrian Peterson. Adrian had a lot of injury-prone years, lacking years towards the end. He played way too long. Mm-hmm. Christian McCaffrey revitalized the position. Mm-hmm. This was a position that was headed away the dodo bird, and he went, hey, I can catch passes as well as your receivers too. Yeah, that's one to me that's not even close. If those two hit
Christian McCaffrey over Adrian Peterson.
If those two hit the ballot the same year, and you told me I can only let in one, it's Christian McCaffrey, and I didn't even think about it.
Wow.
Now I'm projecting a little bit because he's still only 27 years old, or 28 years old.
As it currently sits,
it's
Adrian. Like if he retired right now, you're going Christian McCaffrey over Adrian.
If he retired right now, I'd have to think about it real hard. The thing is, he's not, and by the end of this year, yeah, it's Christian.
Yeah.
It's Christian. I probably won't even think about that hard.
Could very well be. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We are live on the road, the Living the Dream tour, getting ready to take part. We're not taking part. We're watching tonight the Hall of Fame game. Chicago
I'm not
Bears.
Getting out there for any reps.
No.
I didn't bring my shoes. I left my gloves back in Asheville.
Chicago Bears, Houston Texans tonight in Canton. We are live from the Lake House on the Living the Dream tour with Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Dale's Pale Ale and Parks Ford Hendersonville. We will be right back.
Don't miss up to 70% off select major.
All right, clear.
Lowe's closeout event. But hurry, these deals are too good to last because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean
we'll
much,
come back and do the
but
super
it does.
chat.
Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Need to lose weight? QC Kinetics is making those newly approved injectables more accessible and more affordable than ever.
I was really glad to find that QC Kinetics offers weight loss now because it really helped me in my journey to get to the size that I wanted to be.
That's Katie, who because of a foot injury couldn't exercise, but needed to lose weight to fit into her wedding dress. QC Kinetics medical professionals showed her how semaglutide injections could help.
I lost the first 15 probably in the first 10
The QC Kinetics weight loss protocol is a comprehensive plan with in-clinic supervision and personalized care, along with semaglutide and tirzepatide, next-generation weight loss options.
I would definitely tell my family and friends, if you are struggling with losing weight, this is definitely the way to go just to help aid you in that process.
Call QC Kinetics now and start losing that stubborn weight.
My wedding dress is too big now.
QC Kinetics, 833-QCK-SLIM. 833-QCK-SLIM. That's 833-QCK-SLIM.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls,
See you later, Dad.
all the ingredients for family.
iHeartRadio is live from Paris.
The U.S. men are on fire right now. Caleb Dressel is going to have 8 Olympic medals, and all of them are going to be gold. The Americans get it done again.
Man, you can't miss. Kevin Durant is lethal.
Hear all the exciting moments on the free iHeartRadio app. Bring the summer games with you. Open the free iHeart app now and enable push notifications for live updates from Paris. iHeartRadio, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom.
Back in 30.
The fabric of freedom. Denim Dales available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dales salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Ain't no truth on the radio station. Somebody owes me an explanation. Well, I get knocked down, I get back up.
The Sportsocracy.
Just living the dream. I love that. You know what? I will have some meatloaf. Let's have some meatloaf. You want some? Yes. Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. That is the sound of the Livin' the Dream tour. Our theme song this year for the tour, provided by our good friend Ryan Perry from Asheville. That is his new song.
I think that promo is the thing Tank is the most proud of.
I love
this
it.
tour so far.
I love it.
He was absolutely like a pig in poo yesterday when he played that for me. And he did them in reverse of order he thought I would like them in, and he was 100% right.
Yeah, everybody loves the Meatloaf clip. Great movie, great memories. Thank you to Ryan Perry for agreeing to let us use this as our theme song for the Live the Dream tour. We are live on the road in Ohio, coming to you from the lake house here at wonderful, beautiful Lake Milton, Ohio, as we are on the road here for the Hall of Fame festivities taking place, the game taking place tonight. So we're going to get to go view the Hall of Fame museum and such right after the program here today. So we'll have full recap on all of that for you on tomorrow's program, live right here on ESPN Asheville and on the YouTubes from 12 until 3. It's going to be phenomenal. We're glad to be on this trip. And thank you to Ingalls Markets, Dale's Pale Ale, and Parks Fort Hendersonville for coming together, supporting this little venture of ours. Clarissa sells WNC.com as well, throwing in on the trip. It is it's been fun so far, and of course it's only just begun. As we got in late last night, we haven't been out to see anything yet, so we will definitely be bringing you as close to the action as we can throughout the Livin' the Dream tour. And again, thanks to all of our partners, and as well as Ryan Perry. Unapologetic is the name of the song. It is phenomenal.
Oh,
and it's stuck in my head. It's now my ringtone on my phone. Like, I'm in love with this song.
New CD comes out. I'll get a date. He just sent that to me, and it has completely gone out of my head.
All right, well,
with that song on it. And you can check him out with another one of our partners, Corey Short at Silverados, who big shout-out to him for making up for a massive falafel up of mine, which allowed us to do all of these things. And if you're watching us on YouTube, I guarantee you're going, you look a lot clearer than you usually do. Well, that's because Corey Short is the kind of friend that we all need to have.
Yes, he's got nice toys. And,
well, when you boo-boo up and he goes, well, just use mine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Because I didn't really 100% know how I was going to fix that problem until he chimed up. So
really
give him some of your hard-earned doll hairs at Silverados for WNC Country Music Fest this weekend, headlined by Ryan Perry.
Absolutely. Again, Unapologetic, the name of the song, which you'll be hearing on all of our stops.
And
here,
if you
and all of our TikToks and all of our YouTube Reels, we're going to have it all.
You're going to hear that song a lot.
Yes.
And if you want to support him, you can find him on Spotify. That Spotify channel is phenomenal. We listened to it probably half the way up here.
We did.
Tank realized that
Jelly Roll
and Luke Combs. Tank.
Did you play a Luke Combs song while we were in the car?
Several of them.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I just remember like coming to and oh God, Jelly Roll's on again. What is this?
Well, Tank kept telling me to change the channel, and what he didn't realize is that my Spotify, which is run into the Parks Ford Mobile Studio, only has 3 channels: Ryan Perry, Luke Combs, Jelly Roll. So I can change it, but you can only ask me to do that twice before we get back to the top of the old playlist.
If I'm driving home, I think I'm going to have to hook my phone up to it.
I'll go ahead and tell you there's a very light chance that you're going to drive home, and there is even a lighter chance that you're going to connect your phone to that and play whatever god-awful screechings you would torture me with after we go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Well, listen to this Beatles song. It's a beat track, but I got it. And they recorded it in a tin can in 1964. Yeah, it sounds that way.
I hate you so much.
Yeah,
we got a super chat and the YouTube comments. Remember that you can subscribe to the channel. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link. When you subscribe, you'll have the ability to join the House of Reprehensibles and do all the super chats and join us in the chat by subscribing to the channel. Stephen Tao, regarding the quarterback discussion we were having, the Hall of Fame monitor discussion we were having, he wants us to do Rivers versus Eli because he thinks that Rivers is in and Eli is not.
Super Bowls.
Part of me wants to agree with that.
I lost you.
Based on talent, okay, I guess I can agree with that. Based on talent, based on results, I can't get there. I have been the guy who said Eli Manning is overrated. He won 2 Super Bowls, but he is not the Hall of Fame quarterback. Will you check that brick connection there? Apparently, we've lost connection with the station. So, realizing
that happens sometimes.
Realizing we're still live on the YouTube. So are we, Thomas? Do you have us back?
Oh, you are now back.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, we are back. Sorry about that.
See, that is one thing about technology when you're not in a studio is sometimes the internet. It wasn't the internet. That's all good. I see that.
No, sometimes the brick will time out on that. We're talking about the super chat here. Stephen Tao wanted us to get to Rivers versus Eli because he thinks Rivers is in and Eli is not. I would tend to agree with that on talent alone, but when it gets to results, they have to play. And Eli Manning is his 2 runs with the New York Giants in the Super Bowl, or to the Super Bowl, and then beating Tom Brady twice. That is iconic. You can't tell the story of the NFL without saying that.
Yeah, I mean, Eli Manning has 2 championship rings. Phillip Rivers didn't even get a Tay-Tay friendship bracelet like Travis Kelce did.
Oh.
I mean, somebody needed to get him a chastity belt because I think he has 413 kids. If kids played in, first ballot Hall of Famer.
In every statistical category through their careers, Phillip Rivers has the bragging rights over Eli. He didn't throw near as many interceptions. In fact, it's like 50 is the difference. Manning threw 50 more interceptions through his career than Rivers did. Rivers threw 31 more touchdowns in his career. The yards is much closer than I thought it was going to be, and the completion percentage, Rivers blows Eli out of the water. 5 points is a lot. Regular season awards goes to Rivers. 8-time Pro Bowler versus a 4-time Pro Bowler. The only hardware he ever won, Phillip Rivers, that he ever won was Comeback Player of the Year. But that's still a trophy that Eli doesn't have. But then you get to postseason play. Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowls, and he has 2 Super Bowl MVP awards. That's something that obviously Rivers does not have, never being to a Super Bowl, and having a losing record in the playoffs in his career. 5-6 all-time in the playoffs was Phillip Rivers with the San Diego Superchargers. Eli Manning, 8-4. Had 2 deep runs, so that counts for a lot of the wins. He was pretty much one and done every other time he went to the playoffs. But it's the fact that he is so successful in the postseason that you have to give him the nod.
You want me to give you the best example of why you have to be careful going just statistical, well, just on a stat-based platform? I have the list of top 20 passing yard quarterbacks in NFL history. A lot of names that make sense. Tom Brady was 1, Drew Brees 2, Peyton Manning 3. A lot of names that, yeah, I get it. Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, Eli Manning, Dan Marino. This is in no particular order. Then you get to 15. Carson Palmer, Vinny Testaverde, Drew Bledsoe, Joe Flacco, Russell Wilson, Dan Fouts.
Okay.
Anytime you try to give me an exclusively statistical-based argument, I'm going to throw that back at you. Carson Palmer threw for the 15th most yards in NFL history. There are things that mean more than that. I'm not saying that means nothing, but you get into the era that they played in, top 10 quarterbacks of all time, as a matter of fact, top 11 quarterbacks of all time. They're either still playing or have retired within the last 5 years, minus Brett Favre, and the only exception is Dan Marino. Dan Marino is, I mean, and I'm going to, if you're a Dolphin fan, you might want to put your fingers in your ears before I say what I'm gonna say.
Brian.
Dan Marino and Dan Fouts are way closer to each other statistically and accomplishment-wise than you would ever want to admit. The difference is that Dan Marino is the single most talented arm I've ever seen. That's why one is viewed the way he is and the other is viewed the way he is. You get into Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning, it's so damn close on most of these things that the Super Bowl is just the ultimate Dan Marino's arm trump card. Well, they both had outrageous stats. Okay, Phillip threw 25 less interceptions. That's basically 2 years. It's 2 years. They played 17 years apiece. That doesn't trump 2 Super Bowl rings. It just doesn't.
No.
And talent-wise, I don't think anybody – I mean, Eli was taken over Phillip Rivers. They were traded for each other. It's kind of hard for me to say one was markedly more talented than the other. The one thing I can tangibly touch is 2 rings.
Yeah.
And moments.
And MVPs. There's a reason he's got the MVPs. The Mario Manningham throw and the David Tyree throw. Right? They were both special throws. They were both special catches. There's no doubting that.
Special teams, special
Name
plays,
me
special
the
players.
Phillip Rivers moment.
What
was the high water mark of his career? The one play that defines Phillip Rivers.
Oh, you were looking for a good one? Oh,
yeah,
I don't have one.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I was going to say the interception he threw in the playoffs against New England as a 15-1 team to cost the Chargers a shot to go to the Super Bowl after they had been gift-wrapped a second chance. That is, you talk about a game that I threw things with one team that I hate and one team that meant absolutely nothing to me at the time. That was high up there.
Yeah.
One other thing before we take this final break, there was a question in the YouTube chat from Evan Doyle. about the last Hard Knocks episode, and there were two teams that were trying to trade up to 6 with the Giants.
Okay.
The Jets were one. The Indianapolis Colts were the other. And Evan Doyle asked, who were they trying to get up there to get? I can tell you this definitively. Whether anybody will ever confirm that I'm telling you the truth, I promise you, I would bet my life that I'm right. For the Indianapolis Colts, it was Brock Bowers. They tried everything to get up in front of the Raiders, and they couldn't do it. They called every team from, I want to say it was from 5 to 14, and he went right in front of them. And for the Jets, it was Rome Odunze. They fell in love with the concept of Rome on the outside, Garrett Wilson playing in the slot, Rome with the ability to go over the top, and Garrett Wilson just kill you underneath.
Oh, yeah.
They tried. The number one thing that the media missed in this past draft was the Jets were in love with Brock Bowers. Right. No, they were in love with the pass catcher. Right. You just had the wrong one.
Yeah.
And so did I.
Stephen Towle says, every Eli moment, they talk more about the catch than the throw. But the throw is half of it. Right? To me, the throw is half of it. Now, maybe on the Eli or on the David Tyree, okay, maybe you can, that was a little too high. David had to reach up for it. He had to pin it to his helmet. It was a miracle catch. I'll give you that. On the Mario Manningham play, I even sat back and went, okay, I think that's the best throw I think I've seen in years in the NFL.
Well,
like, it was just so spot on in the only place that Mario could catch it. And, yes, Mario did a great job of getting the feet down to make it happen on the sidelines, but those moments don't happen without Eli.
Okay, and let me I'll give you a completely unrelated point of comparison. Bob Kardashian is ridiculously famous.
Okay.
Did he actually do anything to be famous, or was he in the right place at the right time?
Well, I mean, he was a top lawyer in the country at the time, wasn't he? I mean,
name a high-end case.
I have
he
no
won.
idea. I don't watch stuff like that.
No,
so I don't know.
No, he was OJ's personal attorney. He got put on the Dream Team. He was really close with OJ.
Okay.
He did damn near nothing to actually win this case, except maybe pull a suitcase out that somehow the LAPD let him walk right out of there with.
Right.
But you also had to put yourself in the position to do some nefarious things to get there. And you would be shocked how often people forget those things. I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying.
I thought you were, and I did not have a Robert Kardashian, Eli Manning analogy on the show today, but here we are.
Well, because the reason that I use that comparison, I've heard a bunch of different comps on Eli Manning over the years. You do realize that both of those throws, if he had been even mediocre up into that point, neither one of them would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
He was awful, but you remember that one play.
Yeah.
And it takes away a lot of the stink.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And those are kind of how I've always viewed those plays. I'm just trying to prepare myself, because I've been the one sitting here for the last, how many every years going, Eli Manning is so overrated, he's never getting into the Hall of Fame. I don't think there's any way around it.
I want to ask you one question before we take this break. If it had only happened once, and he just had Mario Manningham, or he just had David Tyree.
Not a chance.
That's the thing. That's the thing about luck, is that on the whole, we don't tend to believe that luck strikes twice.
Mm-hmm.
So the second one almost confirmed it. And it eradicates all of those god-awful years where he got benched for Geno Smith. It makes up for it, and people just don't remember it because they remember that special time. Giant fans remember how happy it made them. Patriot fans remember how miserable it made them. The rest of the country remember, hey, you beat Tom Brady, and that's like slaying a dragon.
Yeah.
So it unwinds a lot of bad.
It does. It does. Truly mediocre quarterback, but he's got all of the hardware you could ever ask a Hall of Fame quarterback to have. We are in Ohio for the kickoff of the NFL preseason Hall of Fame game coming up tonight. Immediately after the show today, we'll be going over to the Hall of Fame. It is the Livin' the Dream Tour live from the road at the Lake House here in Lake Milton, Ohio. We'll be right back right here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast.
All right, you're clear. Are we skipping bad boys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Weather continuing over the
We'll
next
have
2
one
days.
real
Maybe a shower
tiny little
thunderstorm coming in
segment,
this afternoon.
basically
Likely
just to
7 rounds.
detail
So
what
heads
we're
up
going to do
before
over the
they
next
see some
handful of
tropical
days.
Downpours, gusty winds, no widespread severe. 90 degrees should do it.
All right.
Tonight, threat for showers and thunderstorms early. Overnight low of 70. Likely storms late tomorrow, just in time for the Friday evening out and the Friday evening commute. Up into the low 90s. Heat index 100. Few showers and thunderstorms over the weekend. Upper 80s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Me and the kids were always messaging. They LOL'd, I ROFL'd, but then I changed phone and the bubbles went green. But where there's a fill, there's a way. And I found a way to share what's in here. I'm tapping my heart.
WhatsApp, the place to safely send messages between different devices. Message privately with everyone.
Take advantage of Zero Res Carpet Cleaning's Back to School BOGO sale. For a limited time, get 2 rooms cleaned plus 2 additional rooms cleaned for free. Use promo code BOGO when scheduling online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
In 1944, Dodson Pest Control was founded with the core values of honesty, integrity, pride in their work, and respect for customers. Those same core values still guide the company today, 80 years later.
Hello, this is Bonnie Dodson. My father, along with his brother, founded our company. They focused on providing every customer with the attention they deserve. That focus has allowed us to serve generations of area families since 1944.
Dodson Pest Control, 80 years of experience. Visit DodsonBROS.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at
20 seconds left.
6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at ParksFordHendersonville.com. That's ParksFordHendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
We're just dumping a bag of hammers.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, live on the road for the Livin' the Dream tour with our good friends at Ingles Markets, Dale's Pale Ale, Parks Ford, Hendersonville, and Clarissa Sells, WBNC.com. Want to shout out, congratulations. Simone Biles winning the all-around women's gymnastics gold medal in Paris just moments ago. So another gold medal for Simone. Congratulations there. I think she still has the opportunity to win 3 more gold medals during these games. So, beating out Brazil in that all-around competition. Suni Lee also coming in third for the Americans, so taking first and third, the bronze and the gold in the all-around. Congratulations there. Do love the Olympics, but it's all about football tonight, preseason action, Hall of Fame game. We're going to be headed immediately after the program here, going down to Canton to check out the Hall of Fame Museum. Of course, the game tonight with the Bears and the Texans. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, and we're going to take you on the ride with us on all the social medias and the YouTubes.
We will be. So we'll be at the museum after the show. We'll be at the game. How long are we intending on? How long are we going to make it into this game?
Until at least halftime. You got, like I said,
so halftime.
Like I said, when you're watching at home, or when I'm watching at home, I'm gonna stick around till halftime to see the Hall of Fame stuff. They're gonna bring the team out on the field and everything, or the new inductees out onto the field, and then after that, 6 stringers playing for camp spots. I'm not interested on television. I'm not sure I'm interested in the stadium, especially when I could come back here and fireside chat with the public.
Yes,
and play College Football 25.
So I would say there will be a late night fireside chat on the YouTubes. We'll try to stream that on Facebook as well.
Yes.
And then the rest of those for the rest of the Living the Dream Tour will be exclusively on Patreon. And it's a low fee for. I think you can do annual. I'm not. I want to say that's true.
But here's the thing.
I should have checked that before I said it.
You too have an opportunity to support the dream and get a little bit closer in with your family here in the Sportsocracy.
No doubt. We'll be firing up the old college football 25 tonight as well. Have a special frame for that, so we're not overlapping the actual action like we did last time.
Oh, I didn't realize we did that.
No, we did.
Okay.
And I've gotten much better at this game. From the sounds of it, Tank is not, which means this will be an on-air bloodletting.
Yes, more than likely. But it's all going to be fun, and we're, again, happy to bring you as close to the action as we can on the Living the Dream Tour Pro Football Hall of Fame festivities up here in Canton. We'll be back with you tomorrow right here on ESPN Asheville at noon. We'll have all of the recaps of the museum, all of the best sights and sounds that we took in from the game as well. Again, follow us on all the social medias at the Sportsocracy. Another great big thanks to our sponsors, Ingles Supermarkets, Dale's Pale Ale, Clarissa Sells, WBNC.com, and Parks Ford Hendersonville for coming together, supporting the Sportsocracy, making this all happen. We will see you tomorrow.
iHeartRadio Olympics update.
There's All right, and then we're going to flow these two breaks in together.
Yes, sir.
Competing despite failing gender eligibility tests, U.S. boxer Clarissa Shields wants a separate competition for transgender athletes.
Men should fight against men, women should fight against women, and transgenders should fight against transgenders.
An Italian boxer quit her match against the Algerian today, saying she was badly hurt by her opponent's punches.
For NBC's live coverage from Paris, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher-end auto-pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
If you're listening to this Gerber Life Guaranteed life insurance ad, there's a good chance that you're alive. And if you're not, well, this may not be of interest to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Life insurance, I'm going to live forever. Death is what happens to other people. Well, for the sake of argument, let's assume you're wrong and that someday you won't be listening to the radio anymore. I know it's not easy to talk about, so I'll do the talking. If you're alive or 50 to 75 in New York, you can apply for Gerber Life Guaranteed life insurance.
Sorry, say that again?
I said I got you. I got it all set up
you don't
to
have
the
to
top
get
of
a
the
medical
hour, so
exam.
we're all good.
In fact, you don't even...
Yep, I see that. It's all
right.
timed out.
Cool deal.
Quote, call 888
Thanks, sir. Appreciate the help.
5016. Then, when...
No problem. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right, take it
Since
easy,
the
man.
radio, your family can...
YouTube.
To help cover your final expenses or anything else. Your kids already inherited your ears, allergies, and questionable singing voice. Don't make them inherit your final expense tab too. For a free personalized quote, call 888-532-5016 today.
If you're a medical professional, business owner, higher income, or self-employed, a new federal rule means now through August 31st is the last chance for people that don't get tax credit subsidies for lower premiums to lock in real health insurance at lower rates for up to 3 years. If you have marketplace, work, or healthcare ministry insurance, I'm talking to you. Hummingbird Insurance is offering free consults for quotes. There's no catch or strings. Get the free quote and decide. Hummingbird Insurance.
At Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation, our focus is on you. With 18 locations across North Carolina specializing in short-term rehabilitation and long-term care, our team is ready to support your loved one, providing the compassionate care they need for whatever lies ahead. From physical and occupational therapy to individualized long-term support, discover the ways Sandstone provides compassionate care for all at sanstonehealth.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-7244 888-866-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Warmer weather continuing over the next 2 days. Maybe a shower or thunderstorm coming in this afternoon, widely scattered around. So heads up, you could run into some tropical downpours, gusty winds. No widespread severe. 90 degrees should do it. Unless it rains, you're going to cool off a bit. Tonight, threat for showers and thunderstorms early. Overnight low of 70. Likely storms late tomorrow, just in time for the Friday evening out and the Friday evening commute. Up into the low 90s. Heat index 100. Few showers and thunderstorms over the weekend. Upper 80s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone in crisis. For 24/7 confidential support, just call, text, or chat 988.
Pain from arthritis is awful. Bone-on-bone constant pain. It robs you of so much of the stuff you love to do. But there are effective ways to deal with that pain, and I'm not talking about drugs or surgery. Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief. And the place to go? QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. If you're living with chronic pain from arthritis or injury, you need to know steroids and surgery and pain pills are no longer your only option. Learn how QC Kinetics can use advanced regenerative medicine to treat the pain, enhance your joints, restore your mobility, and give you long-term relief. With no downtime, the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are ready to help you get your life back with regenerative restorative cellular treatments for your achy joints. This is the future of medicine. Call for a free consultation now in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
When you're ready to go back in the day, y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
This is how we do it. Allow me to introduce myself.
Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come on.
ESPN Asheville is WPEK W225CJ Fairview,
WMFX Waynesville,
an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.